to retire. Step 2, have a plan to get there. Step 3, make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Senator Dianne Feinstein has died at the age of 90. Gianna Gelosi, Fox News.
She was breaking glass ceilings back in the 60s. I mean, the things that she did, she was the first in a lot of things that she did. And she was somebody who fought hard. She was a servant to her state and to her country. Whether you agreed with her or not, she was committed to the battle. And so I think she garnered a lot of respect on both sides of the aisle just for her staying power and her fighting power, whether you had enormous policy differences with her or not. But I just love that we get to walk through these steps of her life and see that she was somebody who was constantly pushing the boundaries for women.
That's Fox's Shannon Bream on her legacy. President Biden served alongside the late senator for more than 15 years in the Senate, calling her a true trailblazer. A government shutdown looms.
Military troops, federal law enforcement, TSA agents, and air traffic controllers will all stay on the job if government funding expires Sunday. But they would miss paychecks if a shutdown extends beyond the middle of October. Federal assistance programs like Medicare and Medicaid payments could also be delayed. The IRS says 2/3 of its employees would be furloughed. Most national parks will also close, the Department of the Interior says, reversing a policy of 5 years ago when the Trump administration allowed parks to stay open during a weeks-long shutdown. Some parks could have limited accessibility with funding provided by state, tribal, or local governments. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The Supreme Court has agreed to decide whether state laws looking to regulate Facebook, TikTok, and X and other social media platforms violate the Constitution. The justices are going to review laws enacted by Republican-dominated legislatures and signed by Republican governors in Florida and Texas. Both laws aim to prevent the social media companies from censoring users based on their viewpoints. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We keep the warm times going this afternoon, all about sunshine, but bring it up to about 88 degrees for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 80s for evening plans, 62 for the low. The weekend, Saturday, sunny skies, very warm again, 88 clear skies on Saturday night. Evening temperatures in the 80s, 62 for the low, and Sunday sunny, and right back to 88. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
2 questions. Do you have a small business? Great. And do you have 5 minutes? Even better. You've got everything you need to start an application for quick, hassle-free financing from Capitus. We've helped more than 50,000 small businesses just like yours get competitive financing and the working capital they need in as little as 1 day. So, don't wait. Skip the red tape and get a decision today. Apply at capitus.com/radio. Go to kapitus.com/radio.
Hey, Bernie Federico here. Over the years, you've heard me talk about lakeside renovation and design. My friends Matt and Dan have been in the business for over 25 years and have done everything on my home, from James Hardy siding, Infinity from Marvin Windows, and even a couple of room additions. These guys are great, and you can trust them with your home. Check out their website to see for yourself all the beautiful work they've done. You can find them online at lakesidерenovationanddesign.com. Be sure to ask about about their unbelievable financing options. Lakeside Renovation and Design.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family. Available at Walgreens and other participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
STL Today is named Under Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm. We'll continue to make a difference, one case at a time.
When you're injured, call Under Law at 314 or 618-900,000.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom.
It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Friday. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. We are happy that you are here with us today. Hopefully you're enjoying some great weather outside. It's beautiful out there, hard to come inside. And we're happy to wrap up a week, a very busy news week that you've probably been taking in GOP debate stuff in some capacity. You've seen the impeachment inquiry on Thursday that had some pretty interesting moments. We aired several of them yesterday, and we're going to talk a little bit about that at 1:05 as well. We've got a very special guest on the show to start the 1 o'clock hour. And then today, the news of the passing of United States Senator Dianne Feinstein. This made me sad. She was 90. She passed away this morning, and you know, we've talked so much about age in politics that there are a lot of Feinstein correlations that would come into those discussions we would be having about Joe Biden, then Mitch McConnell having a few episodes. So we continue to have this discussion. But in the meantime, you're looking at somebody like Feinstein, who's 90 years old, and she just looked incredibly unwell. And it makes me think of her as a human, not as a Democrat vote in the Senate.
Right.
So it's a sad day. I think I don't look at Feinstein as some sort of bastion of hope for my daughter in America, because right now women can look at government and say, wow, we can go places and do things, and we don't seem limited in that capacity. But she's been in office for a long time, and she was a bit of a trailblazer that way. Mm-hmm. And I think that's cool. So, I mean, it's a sad day that she's passed away. There's going to be a lot to discuss in the wake of her passing. I don't know that we're going to really do that today. I feel like there's some time that can pass before that discussion needs to be had. But I would say I had a genuine sadness when I heard this morning that she had passed away.
Yeah, me too. You never, like, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle they're on. You never want to see anything bad happen to anybody, you know, in general. And you know, I say something bad. I mean, I believe that death isn't the end. You know, part of my faith is that. But for some people, this is really, like, you think about her family and stuff like that. This is the last time they got to talk to her or anything for quite some time. And I don't know what their faith situation, what their belief system is or anything like that. But you think about that and you're like, man, I hope that she enjoyed life. I hope that she lived life to the fullest and, you know, didn't miss out on anything as a mom, as a grandma, as any of the things that she may have been, with the relationships that she has with people. It's crazy to me when you start thinking about this sort of thing. What you want people to be remembered about, and what you talk about is, you don't talk about what they did in the Senate. You don't talk about their job. You don't talk about their career. You go straight to family, and it really kind of sheds a light on what is important in life.
Sure. She's been in the United States Senate since 1992. She'd been there for 31 years. That is really something. She was previously the mayor of San Francisco, and I find that to be interesting. What did San Francisco look like when Mayor Feinstein was there compared to the way it looks right now? I would imagine in that amount of time, things have dramatically changed. She was in mayor of San Francisco from 1978 to 1988, 10 years. Might have been, I think it was within the last 2 weeks. I was watching the news, and there were several candidates. I can't remember what the instance was because it was on, and I wasn't really particularly watching the news. It was before the kids went to bed. It's on in the family room, and kids are in the shower. My husband's probably getting dinner on the table. I was probably dealing with Molly, and Molly's my 2-year-old, and my 7-year-old walked in the room. And she saw on the news some people who were running for president, and they all happen to be men. And she said in the most innocent 7-year-old way, "Mom, can a girl be the president?" And I took pause when she said that because my 7-year-old isn't that question is just a simple question to her. The idea that there's no boy that ever goes, "Mom, Dad, can a boy be the president of the United States?" I mean, that's just the way it's always been. That's just a statement of fact. That's not a judgment of any kind. But my 7-year-old daughter did want to know, could a girl be president? And I think that was a moment that I reflected on and have been reflecting on for weeks. Because if I were to come on here and if I were to do, let's say I just did an entire segment on the trailblazer for women that was Senator Feinstein, there are people who are going to feel a certain type of way because you're going to hear me emphasize the gender of this senator, and you're going to tell me, and you're going to really be right, that her gender really isn't the thing that matters when she's in the Senate. It's what she does with who she is. It's her character. It's how she votes. It's how she represents her constituents. It's what's in her head, not, what she looks like or the gender that she is. And that is right and good and true. But I do think that as conservatives, honestly, because you have people on the left who politicize these things so incredibly much, where they set aside, the easiest way to sum it up is content of character, for demographical boxes that can be checked on a form. They play that hand every time. They think the trump card is a skin color. They think the trump card is a gender. They think the trump card is some sort of demographical thing that the person who they're celebrating or denigrating because of that specific demographical identification, that person has no say in that thing about themselves. You might be a female. I think that there are a lot of women who understand that there have been times in their lives where they haven't gotten things because they're female. And at the same time, there have been times that they have gotten things because they're female. There are two sides to that coin. I know that that's been the case for me. I have said this on the show many times before, Brad, as I'm sure you've been listening to the show much longer than you've been working on the show. But I really do think that femininity might be the strongest power that exists on the face of the planet. Because you can have the most masculine, powerful, wealthy men, and the thing that brings everything down is femininity. So I think that women can wield some great sense of power through femininity that goes along with their gender. But I don't know a single female person who wants to be known for being a woman. That just sounds weird even saying it out loud. I'm a woman. Yeah. Anything else? Nope, that's it. My greatest feature.
That sounds so foreign to me. Like, as a guy, thinking about things like the last thing that I consider is my own gender in most, if not all, circumstances. And for somebody to be like, he was a guy, that sounds so foreign to me, so odd, so awkward.
The left prioritizes it, emphasizes it, and champions it over actual accomplishments, things that you had to apply your womanhood or your manhood. You have to apply yourself to certain circumstances and see if you can achieve. And I would generally say that most of the time you're going to fail a few times before you find success in really any endeavor. So we see the left, they play this so hard all the time. Literally, the man who is president said that he was talking to black people on Charlemagne?
Mm-hmm.
Charlemagne the God?
I think it's called the Breakfast Club, I think is the name of the radio show.
Wildly popular, wildly successful show that I only consume through video clips on pretty much Twitter. But he says on this predominantly black consumed radio show production that if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. And it's not just the words that he said. When you watch the video of him and he gets asked a question, a good question, because Charlemagne was challenging Joe Biden. And Joe Biden leans into the camera, raises his eyebrows, and delivers the edict that if you do not vote for him, you ain't black. One of the most insulting, ignorant, stupid things I've ever heard a politician say, but yet he's the president of the United States. There's something very effective about this type of pandering, but also, most importantly, this kind of division, because it's absolute. If you can establish that something that someone inherently is the greatest determination of who they are, then they can't escape it. If you are able to control the words around what it means to be black, what it means to be female, what it means to be whatever you identify with, if you can control the language around that, then you get to control the people who identify that way. And if you can control people, then you can get votes. And if you can get votes, then you can have power. And in this country right now, look at the president of the United States and his son. If you have power, you get money. And you can get money from people in this country, and you can get money from people around the world. And if you have enough power and enough wealth, your wealth will buy more power, and your power will afford you more wealth. And it never ends. And the easiest way to amass all that is to just make people angry, not make people think. You don't want people to think, do you? Of course you don't. You just want people to feel. You want people to know that if they do this, they will be excluded, and that feels bad. If they do that, they will feel included, and that feels good. There's an entire political party that makes hay out of this demographical identity politics, and they are good at it. And I think America is getting a little sick of it, but they are very good at it. With all that being said, when my 7-year-old walks into the room and sees a news program where there are all men talking, and they're talking about why they should be the president, and she looks at me and says, "Mom, can a girl be the president?" And I say, "Absolutely, she can." And she smiled real big, and then she just kind of moved towards the play box. I go, "You think it'd be cool if there was a girl be president?" And she said with a big smile on her face, "Yeah." And I go, "Why do you think that would be cool?" She goes, "I don't know. I just think it would be awesome. I think she would do a good job." In the context of all that bologna sausage I just listed out of what the entire Democratic Party has given themselves over to in the last 15 years of politicking, I still have a little 7-year-old girl in my house who had to ask me the question, can I be president one day? Could a girl be president one day? The answer is yes. And my job as her mother and my husband's job as her father is to explain to her that there's no part of you, honey, no way that God made you that's going to keep you away from succeeding that way, but it's about what you bring to the office. It's about what you think. It's about what you do with your efforts. It's about when you go into office, you are not there for you. You're there to represent people who can't all be in every decision-making room. It's about how you think. It's about what you believe. It's about who you are, not what you are. But of course, a girl can be the president. And a girl can be a United States senator. And a girl is the vice president. And those are all cool things. If my daughter did ask me about Kamala Harris, and she didn't, there's no Kamala Harris. Like, she got a freaking story for everything, man. My mama told me when Moses was parting the Red Sea, girl, you can cross that sea with your feet. I don't think she did. I don't think that actually happened. When the time comes, when my 7-year-old is maybe a little bit older than 7, because we work really hard to keep politics out of my house, if she were to ask me about Kamala Harris, do you like Kamala Harris? I would tell her why I don't. I would tell her why I think somebody could do it better. And I would not tell her that the person who could do it better than her needed to be a girl. And I would not tell her that the person who needs to be in the presidency is a woman because women just do things better and can juggle more and blah, blah, blah. I don't ever, ever, ever want to think that she is entitled to something because she's female or she's excluded from something because she's female. I want to teach her how to think, how to use her thoughts and her emotions to consider people who don't live in the circumstances that she lives in, who aren't raised the same way that she lives, that she has been raised in our home. I want her to understand that there are all kinds of people and that it's our responsibility to treat everybody with kindness. But there are a few things that we believe and we hold dear, and there's a reason why. And I think that my daughter will get that in time when she continues to ask questions. So if you hear people talking about Senator Feinstein and how she was a trailblazer for women in the Senate, I would encourage you today not to recoil at the gender identity politics that we're all so incredibly used to. You can smile and know that in this country, we elect women to high places. We elect multiracial, biracial, multi-demographical people to the highest of high places in this country. And in this country, it doesn't have to matter what you look like in order to be a part of something bigger than yourself. That's actually American greatness. But we also don't want to dumb it down like the Democratic Party has in the past to where it's only about what you look like. I think it's interesting that my 7-year-old saw that and pointed that out, and just a couple weeks ago made me think about that. And I'm thinking about it today, too, with the passing of Senator Feinstein. It's a sad day in that regard, but whether I agreed with anything she did or nothing she did, I think she's an American historical figure that young girls will be able to look at in the future and can look at right now and go, well, that's kind of cool. What if I were there, what would I do? Senator Feinstein, dead today at 90. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to take your phone calls. And I don't do this very much, but I got encouraged by somebody at the diaper drive. You should, Andy, take some phone calls sometime soon. I want to ask you, and I want it very briefly, folks, because I want to get through as many as I possibly can. The state of the Republican primary and Joe Biden as the nominee. You can pick one or the other to talk. You can call in and talk to Ethan, and Leah is here today on her very first day with the Annie Frey Show. And I want to know what you think about all of the candidates on the Republican side, and then our YouTube live chat poll for today. Is Joe Biden the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee? Yes or no? We'll be back with your phone calls at 314-241-9797. Call us right now at 314-241-9797. Get in line. You on the Andy Frey Show when we come back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
You show us everything you've got. Baby, that's quite a lot. And you drive us wild, we'll drive you crazy. You keep on shouting, you keep on shouting.
Air Comfort Service is getting ready to keep you in your comfort zone when the cold air gets here, so you want to make sure your furnace is working correctly. When you reach out to them at 314-513-0091, that's 314-513-0091, you talk to them about your furnace, and if you need a maintenance checkup done, they can help you with that. They can make sure that everything is good working order. If it's not working at all, they can give you a replacement, because that had to happen in my house. And I had a great experience. Love the new furnace. It's incredibly quiet. Brad actually complimented the air conditioning and the system that we have, the HVAC system, about how quiet it runs. I also want to talk to you about the insulation in your home, though. 9 out of 10 homes are under insulated. And if everything with your furnace is working great, but the house is not staying in its comfort zone and you feel like it's running way more than it should, talk to Air Comfort Service about the under insulation in your home. Call them at 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. Make sure you mention the Annie Frey Show when you give them a ring, online at aircomfortservice.com.
If you need a new bath or shower, call my friends at Bath Fitter of St. Louis. Mark Cox here. We love our new shower and tub enclosure. It looks fantastic. No demolition, no mess, and a lifetime guarantee. Right now, they're having a sale for 20% off up to $1,000 or zero interest until 2028. That's 5 years. Call 636-338-1648. That's 636-338-1648. Bath Fitter of St. Louis.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here because you're done playing by their rules. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
I let it fall, my heart, and as it fell, you rose to claim it. It was dark, and I was over, until you kissed my lips, and you saved me. My hands, they were strong, but my knees were far too weak.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
You say they were never true in the games you play. You would always win, but I said fine.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So I'm going to open the phones here in just a second. Laura's holding. We're going to get to Laura first. But if you want to join us and answer this question, is Joe Biden the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee? Yes or no? You can call me at 314-241-9797 right now. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. And let me know what you think about that. I also am interested if any of y'all want to call in and talk about the GOP debate. So this is a little opportunity for you to reach out to us and tell us, how did the debate go? Did you see anything you really like? Is anybody going to come and give Donald Trump a run for his money at all? Because Donald Trump is not showing up to these debates, and Donald Trump's poll numbers are just fine. Do you believe him? 314-241-9797. Let's start with Laura. Laura, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you think?
Hi, I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous.
First of all, it's a big old no on Mr. Biden. And I would also like to make a comment on something you said. Was it you? It was you that just spoke, right?
Yeah. What do you think?
You talked about your daughter, how beautiful that was. That was the most beautiful thing I ever heard. It was beautiful when I was listening. I was just, all I heard in my apartment was your voice talking about it, and it was great. And as a matter of fact, I mean, you kind of put up an image that caught my eye too about our people as a whole right now. Money is just paper. Money isn't powerful. Money, unfortunately, gives you opportunities to have choices. And the fact of the matter is, united we stand, all of us, or divided we're going to fall, because right now, I don't know. I'm just a normal, everyday person, but I'm embarrassed about the State of the Union. I'm embarrassed that we have so many issues, that the issues that are facing Biden and Trump, and is embarrassing. It's an embarrassment. I'm an American from way back. My father fought in World War II, and I grew up a patriot. I'm a patriotic Christian.
Yeah.
And I think that a woman could be president. I don't know. We have to really think about it, because we're very emotional, Well, I don't know. And men are very childish and react. So, I mean, I think those are the characteristics that need to be looked at this point, because they're blatantly, there's a problem somewhere.
Laura.
So, anyway, I wanted to thank you for what you said. It was beautiful. And no way Biden should be a candidate this year. No way, no way.
Thank you, Laura, for the phone call. I appreciate that very much. Women are emotional, men are childish. And, I mean, can we all just agree? Brad, you don't have to go pout. Get out of the corner. Come back, and don't take that so personally.
This is ridiculous. Ugh.
Don't be childish.
I can't help it.
You're a good, petulant teenager. I think women can be prone to being emotional. I think men could be prone to being childish. I know childish women, and I know very emotional men, and I would honestly say that Donald Trump might be one of them. But you need the right guy or the right girl, and they need to step up and they need to run. The YouTube live chat poll that I'm asking you right now, you can also weigh in on the GOP debate, whether you think that there's a candidate on the Republican side that is better than Trump, if you're all Trump all the time. The poll is Joe Biden the 2024 Democratic, not presidential nominee? You can call us at 314-241-9797. Let's go. Who is here first? Todd. Todd, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you think about Joe Biden being the Democratic nominee?
Hey, Annie, how you doing?
Doing okay.
I was I heard your question, and by the way, I know a lot of men that are childish and a lot of women that are over emotional as well. So
so you can't deny it completely, of course.
No doubt. But I look at Joe Biden, I look at the field in the Democratic Party right now, and I really don't even see anyone who stands out or is even viable. Right now, they got the figurehead Joe Biden. I really think that's all they've got. I mean, I don't know what else they're going to throw at us because they just don't have anything.
Yeah.
I can't see one strong candidate in that whole party.
Do you think anybody in the Republican primary can't beat Joe Biden?
Well, if I had to put somebody up against him right now, I would definitely say Trump for sure. I would love to see, and I've said it on the YouTube chat many times, I'd love to see Trump and DeSantis together as president and vice president.
Yeah.
4 more years of Trump, 8 years of DeSantis. I think we could straighten things out a lot if we did that.
Well, I'm not mad at that at all.
But I don't know. There's a couple other candidates, but I just don't think they have a chance of beating Biden the way that Trump or DeSantis would.
Todd, thank you for the phone call. It's good to talk to you again.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Let's get Doug on the line. Doug, what do you think about Joe Biden as the Democratic presidential nominee and also the GOP primary crowded full of candidates? I think they're all pretty good candidates. What's your thoughts?
I think they're good candidates, but I don't think any of them really stand a chance to win the nomination. So really the debates are, in a sense, kind of pointless. And it's just showing you all the reasons why various groups in the Republican Party don't like Donald Trump. As for Joe Biden, I don't think he'll be the Democratic nominee. I think it's probably going to go to Gavin Newsom. And they just haven't figured a way to move him out of the seat because he is the current president, and they would have to admit how they've kind of thrown him up there and propped him up for the last 3 years.
I think that's a good point. And Doug, I was watching a replay of Gavin Newsom on with Sean Hannity after the GOP debates, and Hannity kept asking him over and over again, like, are you going to run for president? Are you going to be and he's like, no, Joe Biden's our guy. He's the president. He's going to run and he's going to win. And all I could think of is it would be the dumbest thing you could say on a Sean Hannity interview. You're like, yeah, I'm thinking about running myself. And secondly, I was thinking what will have to happen is Joe Biden will have to have his full, complete, and total exit. And then, Gavin Newsom can very easily say, well, I think I could be the guy for this time, and I respect Joe Biden so much. He can move into that without disrespecting Joe Biden at all, because you're going to want him to be squeaky clean should he throw his hat in the ring.
Yeah, and I agree with that because I think he doesn't want to come off like Chris Christie does, where he's the kind of the kid on the playground that just doesn't get a chance to get in and play dodgeball type thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the biggest problem with presidential debates. I mean, I know you guys have said in the last couple of weeks from listening to the show that Donald Trump should be at these debates, but realistically, I don't see a reason why he should. I mean, the instant Ron DeSantis stepped up, his poll numbers dropped. Why would Trump risk that when right now he has a sizable lead? I mean, it's just thinking about it from that perspective that there's no win for Trump to even show up on the stage because while they're beating him down on the stage like they did last night, all they look like is childish, about as childish as Nikki Haley talking about drapes to, can't remember the other guy's name
Tim
right
Scott.
now.
And I think in a really emotional, non-childish way, Nikki Haley would tell you, I didn't bring up the curtains. Tim Scott brought up the curtains. Doug, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. I appreciate your phone call. And, to the idea that Donald Trump, we have said, I think you and I both, Brad, said that we wanted to, if it were up to us, and we phrased that very specifically, we would want to see Donald Trump up on the stage.
Yeah, if it was up to me, I want him on the stage.
I think if he's on the stage, he puts himself, but this is, idealistically, I'd like to hear him be up there part of the conversation. Realistically, I think he puts himself in legal peril should he be on the stage, which is a good reason for him not to be. And secondly, are we talking about, earning the vote of the American individual and being, accountable to the questions that people have? Idealistically, but what we need is a winner. And if he's winning, we totally get the strategy. It just would be nice if I'm sure Trump believes that as well. It'd be nice if things weren't this way, but this is the way that they are. I got a few more phone calls I want to get through, so I'm going to have to get through them quickly. Let's start with Rosie. Thank you for calling the show. What do you want to say about the Biden situation, the Trump situation, or whatever?
Well, the most terrifying thing, I think, is the death of Dianne Feinstein. That in and of itself is something completely different because Gavin Newsom could make an offer, extend an offer to Kamala Harris to get her out of the vice presidency and into the Senate again, and then have Joe Biden say, well, I need a vice president, have him choose Gavin Newsom, and then, leave that avenue open, and then have Biden say, well, I think I'm just going to let it go, and then have Newsom become president, and then that's just a whole other, which could happen.
The only part of what you just said there that I'm going to tweak a little bit is have Newsom, I would say, instead of president, become the nominee. I actually tweeted out a couple hours ago, will Kamala Harris be appointed to Senator Feinstein's seat? Because I do think it's an off-ramp for the Kamala Harris problem for this administration, also going into the 2024 election. So I think you're onto something there. I don't know. I mean, if I suggest this to people in the know, they're like, oh, that's a step down. I'm like, so is being ushered out of the vice presidency in disgrace. Like, this is at least a softer landing. Yeah. Rosie, I think that's a smart idea or a terrible idea also, both at the same time.
I mean, it's terrifying to think that, but, I wouldn't doubt it in anyone's mind, especially on the left, saying, yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea. We'll just do it this way. And then Newsom has his, well, I wasn't going to run for president, but now that I'm here, I might as well just, throw my hat in. Then that would be very interesting.
Rosie?
I've sat through, I've been through like maybe 12 sitting presidents, and I'm like, oh boy, I've never seen anything so mixed up in my whole life.
Yeah, I hear that too. I'll quote my dad, put a tent on the circus. I only have a little bit of time left. Let's get to Matthew here real quick. Matthew, what do you think? Let's hear it.
Hi, Annie. I love you guys. Great show. I think we need to put Donald Trump back in. The political elite, both sides, have sent a message that outsiders are not welcome, and if they get in, they'll be crushed under a wave of legal trouble that most people would have never recovered from. And if we keep putting in established politicians, we're just going to keep getting the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I agree that Donald Trump brings a certain set of skills, one might say, back into the Oval Office. And I feel like that's what we need moving forward. My only concern with Donald Trump is that he's got too much baggage to get elected. But man, if we can get him elected, we'll mean business.
He has baggage. He's bombastic and he's thin-skinned. But I just think we need to send a message that it's not you, the elite. It's we, the people, and we'll make the decision.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of putting it. Matthew, thank you for calling the show. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. One last call here before we go. Ed, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you think?
Hey, Annie, love being on. I agree with you and Rosie. That was my evil thoughts this morning is Kamala becomes the new junior senator. That frees up a path. Newsom becomes the VP. Biden pardons Hunter, and as part of pardoning Hunter, he steps away knowing it may have committed some political suicide. So he makes that his last act. Then Newsom runs as president, sitting president for the next election.
Yuck.
I don't like it. It's just a thought.
I hate the way you think, Ed, but I also think those thoughts too. So I think that I will just sit here and misery loves company. And Ed, thank you for being a part of our AFS family. Good to talk to you.
Love you, Annie. Thanks. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you as well. That's right. It's Friday. Forget about all that nonsense we just talked about. It's not going to happen. Say that 3 times, spin around in 3 circles, do 5 squats, and then drink some ice water. And we'll make it not so. Is that biblical?
No. No.
Are squats good, though?
Yes, squats are good
Squats
for you.
are good. Get the blood flowing. Yeah, I didn't I say to Joe Concha earlier this week, what about Kamala to the Senate? I think I said it to him.
Maybe.
And I think he was like, no. And I'm like, but wouldn't it be better than just like what happens after you just aren't the vice president anymore? And it's like, oh. Man, I don't know. Well, keep giving us what your thoughts are on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Is Joe Biden the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee? Yes or no? We want to know what you think. You go vote on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. The poll is up there now. I showed Brad. I did half of the poll. I just didn't click the publish part. It's up there now. So if you missed it before, go vote now. Leave your comments. And when we come back, one of our favorite things we do on the Annie Frey Show, the Bee or Not the Bee. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Stewart's American Mortgage, 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Stewie is there to help navigate all of that home purchasing, mortgage stuff that let's be honest, the process of buying a home starts with, I want 3 beds and 2 baths and maybe 2,000 square feet. And then it turns into, and a walkout basement. And then you turn into, but I really want a fireplace. So you start whittling these things down. You find the perfect home. You're ready to go. And then you're like, oh my gosh, the financial stuff that you got to put in. There are options. Sometimes you're told this is provided to you. Like, okay, we're going to use this mortgage person with your realtor. I want you to give Stewie the opportunity to do better than the person who might be referred to. Or if you got nobody, you can go to Stewie as well. The bagel loan with Stewart's American Mortgage is the smartest game that you can play in when it comes to securing one of the biggest debts that you'll have in the smartest ways that you can have it. No closing costs when you use the bagel loan at Stewart's American Mortgage. He calls it the bagel loan because bagels look like a zero, which reminds you pay zero in fees that other lenders will charge you for. He'll talk you through the entire process. The fees don't exist and, be tucked away somewhere. They're not there. So give him a call or text him and tell him Annie sent you. Just say, Annie said something about a bagel loan. How can you help? And he will walk you through the process. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan as well. And MLS number 226715.
With the Wholesale Formula Seminar, find out how to start your own Amazon business.
This is Nick Chouquette. I lost a lot of money on a failed landscaping business and had to move in with my dad. After attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I went from having no job to $1 million in revenue on Amazon just 2 years later.
Hi, it's Emric Manello. When I first immigrated to the United States, I had no idea how I was going to earn a living. I attended the Wholesale Formula Seminar, and my first year on Amazon, I did over $700,000 in sales.
My name is Jeremiah Holbrook. I've sold over $10 million on Amazon thanks to what I learned from the Wholesale Formula.
Whether you have a business and want to sell more on Amazon, retired, or just need extra money, America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost will show you how. Attend Dylan's live in-person seminar for only $49.99, guaranteed, or your money back. That's right, discover the easy way to make money with Amazon. Meet Dylan Frost at the Wholesale Formula live 2-hour seminar Saturday, September 30th, 11 a.m. at Aviator Hotel, Lindbergh Boulevard, St. Louis, Missouri. Register at thewholesaleformula.com.
Together Credit Union is the official banking partner of St. Louis City SC, which means Together Credit Union is the only place to find the official City SC debit card, which comes with special perks. There's no cost for the City SC debit card, so don't wait and sign up today online at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Well, there's a very good chance as you've driven down your street, you have admired houses in your neighborhood that have been covered in Rhino Shield, and you don't even know it, except if you pay close attention, you'll notice that they're not being repainted every couple of years. What I mean is same bright, vivid colors that you would choose with regular paint, except that Rhino Shield lasts, and you're going to get a 25-year warranty with it. I've got it on my house, and I mean it. It looks like it did the day they put it on. It lasts and lasts. It's lab tested to last that long against chipping or peeling or cracking. And they put this on businesses as well. Condo units from Springfield, Illinois, all the way down to the Lake of the Ozarks. You can find it. And my friend Darren will be happy to come over and give you a free evaluation of your home. All you have to do is call him. Tell him you heard Mark Cox talking about it. 877-25-RHINO or online at 877-25rhino.com.
Hey, today's YouTube live chat poll is Joe Biden the 2024 Democrat presidential nominee? No. Yes or no? Annie doesn't want him to be. No. So if you want to vote on this, if you want to weigh on this, go to youtube.com/@AnnieFrey. Go ahead and vote in the poll. Leave a comment. Tell us why you voted the way you voted. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. The time is 12:48. This update is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Connect with the personalities and give your feedback. 97.1 FM Talk is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For content that's additional to the radio, join us there. The Bee or Not the Bee.
Ryan Wiggins wanted to do the Bee or Not the Bee yesterday because Ryan is off today. And I said, no, that belongs to Friday. And then before the show, we're like, hey, who's doing the Bee or Not the Bee? And so, Ethan, hi, welcome back in. Good to have you in the studio. Next to Leah, who is in the studio, and our official first day as the associate producer. Hi, Leah.
The past and the present.
Yes.
All in one.
Yes. You're kind of like the shaman in between, just keeping the show
I don't know what that word means.
moving. It's filthy.
You don't know what a shaman is?
No.
This guy doesn't know what a shaman is.
I know. What kind of shaman doesn't know what a shaman is? Not a
Yes,
good one.
this shaman.
Is that a good word for him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, shaman. Maybe a Sherpa.
Sherpa? Yeah, that could be
I
too.
don't know that one either.
Ethan.
Yes.
Take it away. You're going to read us some headlines, and Leah and Brad and myself are going to guess, is it the Bee or not the Bee? And we're
Okay.
talking about Babylon Bee here, folks, just so you know.
Something to keep in mind, though. Leah was
Yeah.
with me for
I
some
saw
of these,
some
though,
of
so
them.
she may have to,
Okay.
stay quiet on some of these. All right. Our first story. Gavin Newsom says California believes in free speech. And if you disagree, you will be arrested.
Man, I'm thinking it's the Bee, but I mean, that also might be true. And yeah, I'm going Bee.
I'm going to say B as well.
It is the Bee.
It is the Bee. All right, read us a little bit from the article.
In a statement given to a room full of waitstaff at the French Laundry, California Governor Gavin Newsom declared California to be the freest state in the union and warned that anyone who disagreed would be arrested.
I love it.
Isn't that beautiful?
Love it.
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Yeah, right? That sounds about right. Okay, how about
Is that
this?
from something or just something you have in your head?
I've heard that phrase before.
Not
so
like,
I don't know what
you
it's
don't
from.
feel that way here, right?
No.
No, I have great morale. Hi, Leah. Come stand close to me.
No, don't do that, Leah. She can reach you then.
No.
Yeesh. Ready for the next
I've
one?
never struck any of you. I've thrown pens.
Yep.
I thought you were going to the other day at Ruler Foods throw something at Wiggins. Honestly, you were right next to me. You could have just given him an elbow
For
or
which
something.
particular reason?
Does there ever need to be like an actual direct reason with him?
I mean,
feel
for
like there's
physical contact,
there
yes.
are constant reasons.
He was sitting real close. He
Yeah,
was
you
sit-
were.
Yeah, he was sitting real close.
Yeah, the bubble was bursted, that's for sure.
Mhm.
Colin Kaepernick pens a letter to the New York Jets asking to join their practice squad.
Ooh.
This is real.
I think this is real.
This is real.
This is indeed real. This is too cute, you guys. Colin Kaepernick, the guy who thinks playing football is slave labor, just penned a letter to the New York Jets asking to join their practice squad.
Yeah. I don't understand why this is like a Stockholm Syndrome thing. But, I mean, I could understand why he'd want to make a lot of money, but I'm pretty sure, didn't Nike pay him like $32 million? $32 million is at the
Stupid.
top of my head, and I might have made that number up
Close
completely.
to 10 years now. You just don't see that. A guy trying to come back after
I can't
10
imagine
years.
him being effective.
No.
Neither could the San Francisco 49ers at the time.
You know what it is he knows he doesn't have a chance, so he's like,
yes,
I want to put my name back out there, and then whenever they say no, because I know they're going to say no, because like you said, it's been 10 years, I'm like, racism.
But what if they said yes?
Oh boy, would that be something?
Why wouldn't, I mean, I hate the NFL. And every time the NFL comes up, especially on Twitter, and I tweet out that I hate the NFL, somebody on the left is like, oh, it's another one of those, and they like, I have been attacked for like a week straight because of one thing I put up on the Super Bowl when Chris Stapleton sang, love Chris Stapleton, complimented his version of the national anthem. And I'm like, and now I'm done not watching any more of the Super Bowl. And everyone's like, oh, this conservative little witch, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, let me tell you about a man named Stan Kroenke. I hate that
No
man.
joke.
He is an evil, evil person. And it has to do with St. Louis and the St. Louis Rams. Huge fan. Dad had season tickets. I went to all of your crap games when they were in St. Louis. And I would have kept going to them.
Wow.
Doesn't have to do with
That was intense.
Colin Kaepernick.
You know,
but
Chris Stapleton has
on
the
here.
new. He has the new Sunday night. No, not Sunday.
Yes,
Monday Night Football
with
theme.
Snoop.
Yes.
And it's great.
Yeah, it's
And that is as far as I'm going to go with that.
okay. All right, we ready for the next one?
Yes.
Colin Kaepernick creates himself as Jets quarterback in Madden 24.
Ooh. That's got to be the B. That
It-
has to be the B.
It is the B.
Okay, good.
With his note to the real-life Jets falling on deaf ears, Colin Kaepernick decided today to use his likeness to make himself the Jets quarterback in Madden 24. You'll see, you'll all see, shouted Mr. Kaepernick as he turned his character's arm strength up to 99. Look how good I am. Ha! They'll all be sorry.
Oh, man. That guy. He just won't go away.
He is
Cockroaches,
something, isn't he?
Twinkies, and Colin Kaepernick.
Wow.
Just never die. and
Ready
go
for the
away.
next one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The FBI, in a recent announcement, has arrested Air Force One stairs for plot to assassinate Joe Biden.
Oh, I'm not even.
just
yeah,
hit it.
just right. That's gotta be the B.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation announced today it has arrested the Air Force One stairs and charged them with the plot to assassinate the president. After an extensive investigation, we now believe stairs are a credible threat to the president's life, said FBI spokesperson Ed Leslie. Suspicion arose after repeated incidents in which the president nearly lost his life entering Air Force
So
One.
that's where the tall stairs went.
Man.
They've been indicted, so now Biden has to use the short
Isn't
ones.
that something? That is something.
One more, real quick.
One more. Florida woman borrowed an alligator from her workplace to use in a birthday photo shoot, but all she got was a mugshot.
I think it's real.
Yeah, I think that's real as
Is
well.
that real?
Well, it is real.
Oh my gosh, what are they doing?
Okay, if it would have been like Pennsylvania woman, would you have believed it?
With an
It's the-
alligator?
It's the Florida woman is like,
Yeah.
you know, Florida man,
Yeah.
it's the start.
Yeah. If it would have been a Florida man story and it would have
Right.
eventually been about Ron DeSantis, then I might have said the B.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ethan and Leah. Appreciate it. We're going to do a little Ask Me Anything at 1:25. So get on the YouTube live chat. Ethan and Leah are watching those comments come in, and they will set those aside, and we will answer them at 1:25. Congressman Jason Smith when we return.
Hey, Bernie Federico here. Over the years, you've heard me talk about lakeside renovation and design. My friends Matt and Dan have been in the business for over 25 years and have done everything on my home, from James Hardy siding, Infinity from Marvin Windows, and even a couple of room additions. These guys are great, and you can trust them with your home. Check out their website to see for yourself all the beautiful work they've done. You can find them online at lakesidrenovationanddesign.com. Be sure to ask about their unbelievable financing options. Lakeside Renovation and Design.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health from Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We keep the warm times going this afternoon, all about sunshine, but bring it up to about 88 degrees for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 80s for evening plans, 62 for the low. The weekend, Saturday, sunny skies, very warm again, 88 clear skies on Saturday night. Evening temperatures in the 80s, 62 for the low, and Sunday sunny, right back to 88. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Second Amendment Radio is a staple of solid firearm information on 97.1 every weekend. Saturday from 3 to 4 and Sunday from noon to 1. It's Second Amendment Radio and the great outdoors. 97.1 FM Talk.
Fox News. President Joe Biden pays tribute to California Senate Democrat Dianne Feinstein. She has died at age 90.
Was a historic figure, trailblazer for women, and a great friend. Dianne made her mark in everything from national security to the environment, gun safety, to protecting civil liberties.
The president at an event in Virginia for Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley's retirement. Feinstein served in the Senate since winning a special election in 1992. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
Her career was, by any standards, historic. Speaking personally, I worked with the senator for quite some time.
Among other accomplishments, Senator Feinstein was the first woman to serve on the Judiciary Committee in the Senate. Federal agencies and millions of federal workers are preparing for a government shutdown that could start Sunday.
Military troops, federal law enforcement, TSA agents, and air traffic controllers will all stay on the job if government funding expires Sunday, but they would miss paychecks if a shutdown extends beyond the middle of October. Federal assistance programs like Medicare and Medicaid payments could also be delayed. The IRS says 2/3 of its employees would be furloughed. Most national parks will also close, the Department of the Interior says, reversing a policy of 5 years ago when the Trump administration allowed parks to stay open during a weeks-long shutdown. Some parks could have limited accessibility with funding provided by state, tribal, or local governments. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
There is flooding in New York City and thereabouts. A state of emergency is declared. Some streets and subways are flooded. A judge in Michigan rules that 17-year-old school shooter Ethan Crumbley can be sentenced to life in prison without parole. He could have gotten a lesser sentence because he was only 15 when he shot and killed 4 other students at Oxford High School, wounding 7 others. The judge says there's no evidence that Crumbley wants to change. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Mark Reardon, and Annie Frey, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the last Protecting Your Retirement educational event of the year. Tuesday, October 3rd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seats are limited, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you'll be able to live the same lifestyle as you are now? Do you worry about losing your nest egg in the next big market correction? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any more losses and provide more income than most investment options. Would you like to know why linking to the market is so much safer than owning the market? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this last event of the year.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, October 3rd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
This weekend, September 29th, 30th, and October 1st, it's the semi-annual Missouri Arms Collectors Gun Show at the Arnold Eagles Hall in Arnold, Missouri. Browse tables of firearms, ammo, knives, books, and military items. Buy, sell, or trade. Admission's only $9, kids under 12 free with a paid adult, and parking is free. Don't miss the semi-annual Missouri Arms Collectors Gun Show this weekend at the Arnold Eagles on 1725 Jeffco Boulevard. For complete information, visit MissouriArms.com. The Missouri Arms Collectors Association is a not-for-profit NRA-affiliated club.
Mark Reardon sees clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Maholtred Ophthalmology Associates. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today. That's youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
This hour of the Annie Fry Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. I want to get straight to a guest because we have a very special guest on the line. Congressman Jason Smith from Missouri's 7th District right here joins us. Congressman, thank you for giving us some of your time. I know on the Hill right now you got a lot going on.
No problem. It's great to be with you, Annie.
So I want to ask you about the impeachment inquiry this week. But before I do that, I see here that, according to Fox News report, a group of GOP hardliners joined Democrats in sinking House Republicans' stopgap funding bill on Friday, significantly raising the chances of a government shutdown happening over the weekend. It says 21 Republicans voted against it. I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak, especially to your constituents that are listening right now, on your thoughts on a possible pending government shutdown.
Well, you know, we're less than 2 days away. I am proud of the House that the fact that we've passed almost 70% of the appropriations bills and sent them over to the Senate, but the Senate hasn't even sent us back one. We funded the military, we funded the veterans, we funded the homeland, but Senate for some reason can't send us something. This stopgap measure that just got defeated on the floor, I think that it would have been a good approach with a win by, requiring funding to secure the southern border, which is a complete disaster. But I think that where it's heading now, it's probably going to put us at a much weaker place.
I think, Congressman, what the feedback that I'm hearing from news reports, reading on social media, and just the people who are talking about this, they're suggesting that this is going to be Republicans cross to bear should the government shut down, and maybe a lack of movement on the Senate allows that to be the continued storyline. Are the Democrats interested in passing anything right now that could work in a bipartisan fashion?
Annie, the Democrats claim that they don't want a government shutdown. It's exactly what they want. Last night, when we passed 3 appropriations bills, you should have saw their face. They look like someone just ran over their dog. But then when the appropriations bill fell, they cheered. And this is, quote, the party who wants to fund government. I mean, if you're just watching C-SPAN, you can see their true motives. They want a government shutdown so it will distract from the horrible stuff that's going at the border. So it'll distract from the investigations of their president. That's what they want.
Yeah, well, I'm going to play for you a clip here because I want to shift because the investigations that you guys are doing on Capitol Hill right now are very compelling. I'm going to play a clip here from Congressman Max Frost. Let's just listen into
this. This entire fake impeachment inquiry isn't about the United States. It's about Hunter Biden. And the only thing the president can be guilty of here is being a father.
Yeah, he's just a loving father, and he hasn't done anything wrong. And Congressman Smith, you and the people on the committees you serve on are trying to distract from the government shutdown, so the Democrats say. What do you respond to that?
I would say that he's quite delusional. You can be a loving father without making sure that you use your office in a way that benefits your son millions of dollars. You know, we are looking through numerous items, and the IRS whistleblowers have given us a lot of information, including 700 new pages that we released out of our committee this week. We found out that, of course, President Biden was aware of his son's business dealings, but he's not just aware, he's connected through text messages, emails, phone calls, hosting events at the White House, and also flying his son and his son's business associates on Air Force Two to other foreign countries. We also discovered that Hunter Biden and the Biden family has connections to over 20 different countries, and where money has poured in of over $24 million from China, Ukraine, Romania, Russia. And you know, President Biden, we know, has lied. He said initially he knew nothing of his son's business dealings. Then when I released the information to the Ways and Means Committee, he says that he was not involved. Well, he continues to backtrack. He also said his son never received any money from China. We've proven that to be wrong. In fact, just this week, we highlighted a bank wire from a China official of over $250,000. And guess what? The address that was listed on the bank wire happens to be the President of the United States address in Delaware, even though his son Hunter lived in Malibu, California during that time.
Yeah. The evidence that you've been able to acquire through your efforts, Congressman Smith, through the subpoenas that you have undertaken and that we understand are going to continue to come, show me that you're interested in a fact-finding mission. I hear the left calling this a GOP distraction and a political game. And the other thing that I heard yesterday in a lot of the testimony or the questions during the hearing, they talked about Donald Trump an awful lot. I didn't hear anybody really exonerating Joe Biden as being innocent. It was either Donald Trump or Joe Biden's a good dad.
Annie, what I see in Washington every day from the Democrats is that Donald Trump lives rent-free in their head. And it is such a shame that they allow Donald Trump to control their thoughts. It's always Donald Trump's fault on everything they do. They even claimed yesterday in the impeachment inquiry hearing and oversight that Donald Trump called this hearing. I mean, you cannot make it up. They mention Trump more than they mention Biden. And, you know, the American people, they deserve the right to know because of the love that he has for his son and his son's business dealings. What has Hunter Biden sold? What services does Hunter Biden provide to make $20+ million? I asked that.
Yeah. I don't think that there's any evidence that he has any skills or services that he's provided, although he does have a significant connection and a very powerful father. Do you believe that you have or you will have hard, provable evidence that will persuade anybody who's willing to consider that evidence that Joe Biden was very involved with Hunter Biden and this money coming into the family?
We're connecting a lot of dots. There's a lot of people that we still need to ask questions and get answers from, but the administration's been blocking us. There's bank records that we subpoenaed yesterday of President Biden's brother, James Biden. We need these answers. We need these details to continue to put it all together. This is an inquiry. We are looking to see if what we think smells like some problems, whether it is or not. And we're going to follow the facts and we're going to see where they lead. But I'll tell you, it it should alarm anyone that you see the things that we have been seeing.
I want to ask you one last question before we go, because I think that I've got people who are listening and commenting right now, and they're on the left, and they're challenging this in the way that a lot of the people on the left are, and they're curious about the original Congressman Raskin request for a subpoena of Rudy Giuliani and Lev Parnas. Can you talk to me about why Comer moved past that so quickly and what the Democrats are trying to do with that move?
That was just another example to try to stall everything. They're trying to shake a shiny object to the left so that we won't really see what's going on to the right. It is maddening to me that they are turning the blind eye to so many things within this case. Why is this administration blocking all of our requests for documents? Why are they blocking the individuals we're trying to get to come before Congress if they don't have something to hide? What we learned in the documents that I released just this week is there were several instances where the Justice Department wanted to, the IRS whistleblowers wanted to look into President Biden. For example, in a search warrant, they had him listed, and the Justice Department came in and overruled them and said, under no circumstances can you have a search warrant with Joe Biden's name on it. Under no circumstances, whenever they wanted to interview, when the investigators were interviewing the president's brother, James Biden, before the interview, they said, under no circumstances can you ask any questions about his brother, the Vice President of the United States. I mean, this is all documented. And if it's not only obstruction of Hunter Biden's investigation, it's obstruction of the current president.
Congressman Smith, real quick before we let you go, people criticizing on both sides the idea that you should be focusing on the government shutdown, or you should be focusing on these investigations, and they should shut the whole government down. Is Congress capable of doing the walking and the gum chewing at the same time?
Let me tell you, in the Ways and Means Committee, we're able to walk and chew gum. We've been passing tax legislation. We signed the U.S.-Taiwan trade agreement, plus we've been doing this oversight work. Yesterday, I did the impeachment inquiry in the meeting, and then we did a 6-hour markup to help deliver lower health care costs for all Americans. And, you know, Ways and Means doesn't do appropriations. That's a whole separate committee, but I've been supportive of all the measures to try to make sure government stays open. But guess what? Every vote that we have taken in the House of Representatives to fund government, every single Democrat has voted no. Not one has voted yes. So you tell me who's trying to shut down government.
Congressman Jason Smith, Missouri 7th District Representative, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Annie. Take care.
Yes, you as well. Keep working hard. We appreciate it. He's the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. You can follow him on Twitter at Rep. Jason Smith. I guess it's the Kevin James meme. Is that like a now thing? Is that a hot meme, so to speak? Kevin James would love that.
I haven't seen it. That's the first time I saw it, but it's great.
Oh, no, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it everywhere. Kevin James tweeted it out. I don't think he tweeted out the Congressman Smith version of it. But it's funny. It's Kevin James. I think it's from King of Queens. Is that what that is from? Yeah. I mean, he's looking very Kevin Jamesy, mall copy, and he's got his hands in his pockets, and he's kind of shrugging with a half smile smirk. He's just like, hey, honestly, Ryan Wiggins could take that picture, and he should, because I bet Ryan Wiggins has that flannel shirt or that plaid shirt and a blue T-shirt. We'll make that happen and see if we can make Ryan Wiggins go viral, looking like Kevin James. But he's just kind of standing there looking like he's saying, hey, I'm just a dude. You might just be a dude, and I might just be a dude. We could be dudes at the same time.
Never mind that stuff.
I was going to say together, but it's probably not what Kevin James was saying. Congressman Smith said House Republicans present hundreds of pages of whistleblower testimony documents, texts, bank records, flight and White House visitor logs linking Joe Biden to his son's overseas business dealings, and Democrats are like, hey, I'm a dude. Or maybe not. Maybe you're not a dude. It's just there's not a lot of connection that's going to be made when these political parties are so far apart. And I cannot stress enough, if you go back and you listen to any of the testimony on the hearing yesterday led by the chairman Comer, the amount of times that the Democrats started going all in on Trump, nobody is providing a defense that suggests that it is outrageous to suggest that Joe Biden would have been involved in this. It's, don't talk about a father and his son that way. And Donald Trump is the freaking worst. That's basically the summation of what the Democrats had to offer in the hearing yesterday. And it is bizarre. If you missed it yesterday, I draw you to my Twitter account. I'm going to put it up on the Annie Frey YouTube account here today as well. But Ryan made 3 clips of the Chris Christie comment about Donald Trump not being Donald Trump, being Donald Duck. One of them that he made Chris Christie sound like he was drunk and just slowed down his voice. It is so funny. It's hilarious. I put the video of us airing that up on my Twitter at Annie Frey Show. If you want to go check that out and listen to it, we had a good time with that. Those are the type of things that we don't like to hear until. Did you hear that before we put it on the air?
No,
you didn't listen to it.
That was fresh for me on the air.
We usually try to listen to him for the first time on the air, if at all possible. So we never know what we're gonna get. And it was exactly what I was hoping it would be. So funny. All right, let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll get Ethan and Leah back in here, and we'll play a little Ask Me Anything because it is a Friday afternoon. If you missed the beginning of this hour, we started talking with Congressman Jason Smith right at the jump, and interesting talk about the government shutdown, Republican role in that, Democrat role in that, of course, from Congressman Jason Smith's perspective, as well as the Biden impeachment inquiry. So much happening on Capitol Hill, important stuff. Stuff getting done, stuff not getting done. We'd love to know what you think about it as well. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Vote in the poll. Is Joe Biden the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee? Yes or no? And ask us some questions that you want us to answer in this next segment. We'll be right back.
Between Cher and James Dean is fine for me.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Might even cut my hair and change my name. Cause we all just wanna be big rock stars.
When you are looking for a great ENT, it doesn't matter if it's for small kiddos, teenagers, grown-ups, senior citizens. Gateway ENT is there to help all of those people. There isn't an age range that they do or that they don't help. They help everybody. They are a private practice, ear, nose, and throat group. They have multiple locations conveniently located around the metropolitan area, West County, Sunset Hills, Festus. They have been around at Gateway ENT for over 40 years. From little babies and people all the way into the golden years of their retirement. They've had success solving families' ear, nose, and throat problems. And they love getting the follow-ups from families, the relationships they build over the course of the years. It's true that a lot of this stuff can be hereditary. So maybe dad went and saw the Gateway ENT doc for a sinus issue they have, and then they just recommend them to the next generation because they're so good at it. They're reliable, and they care about you. You are at the center of their focus the entire time that they're there. They take new patients, and they can get you in quickly. So reach out to them at 314-843-3828. That's 314-843-3828. You can find them online right now at gatewaydrs.com.
It looks like wood, it feels like wood, but it's maintenance free. It's luxurious James Hardie siding. And during Banner Construction's 30th anniversary, get same as cash financing on James Hardie and Pella windows and have a banner day.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you're trying to sell your home, there's only one group of agents in town I trust. Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. Check out thegelmanteam.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsl.honorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Hey, we take you into the weekend with a Reardon Roundtable, 3 p.m. on Friday. Jane Duker on the panel, former state senator John Lamping, Kara Spencer from the Board of Aldermen.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
You have to ask me nicely.
Don't make me beg here.
Ask me anything.
Tell me the truth!
Is that the new one?
That's the new one.
Oh, we can do better than that.
I'll put him on it when he gets back.
I thought there was going to be more. This is really loud in my headphones. It's Ask Me Anything time. It's Friday, but we've got an exciting Ask Me Anything today. Not that it's not always like the best radio, the original place for Ask Me Anything, right here on the Annie Frey Show. We ask questions, and you can ask questions of us, and you just go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and pop them in there, and we are all watching these questions as they come in. Ethan and Leah in here today. Ethan has been the associate producer. Have you been with us for like a month? More?
Yes, it's been a little over a month.
Over a month. It's been fantastic, and we're not going to let you go completely. And Leah, on her first day, let me ask the first question here.
Okay.
Leah, how has your day been so far?
Great. Yeah, it's been fun. I've watched a bunch of training videos.
You don't have to lie about that being fun. You can be honest about that. That's not fun. That's what we call necessary.
I have one playing while I'm in here.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, hit the dump button, Brad. Ethan, you want to kick us off here? And before you do, Ethan, your podcast that people can check out?
The Lou Sports Talk podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you can find podcasts, and the Lou Sports Talk _ on any social media.
Go subscribe to it. I don't care if you never even listen to it, but just go be a subscriber and supporter of Ethan.
Appreciate you.
You got a sports question for us?
Is Adam Wainwright a Hall of Famer?
Hall of Fame. Like,
yeah, not Cardinals Hall of Fame.
I mean,
we all know the answer to that.
He should play the rest of the weekend in a red jacket. What do you think, Brad? You go first.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
Really?
I think that he is.
Why?
Yeah. I think that he has a tremendous record. I think that he was the face of a franchise. For me, like, the Hall of Fame, I always look at the Hall of Fame. Can you tell the story of baseball without Adam Wainwright? You know, can you tell the story of baseball without mentioning
It's a good way of looking at it.
doing it? And so I don't know how you can tell the story of baseball without talking about Adam Wainwright coming in as a rookie to close out both one of the most contentious NLCSs and then the World Series with the same pitch and got two different results, both ending in strikeouts.
Yeah, I can see him now. I mean, as a St. Louisan, I can't tell the story of baseball without him.
I was going to say, I can't tell the story of baseball without Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire and Pete Rose. And there's a lot of people I can name.
Let's
on
just
that list.
have a separate sad face room for those people that you just listed. I don't know if I'm going to admittedly be not qualified to answer that kind of a question, but I think as far as what you were asking me, Brad, a couple days ago, you were talking to me about baseball players and numbers, and I just have so much information and stupid facts in my head, but it's from like 1990, mid-90s on. Before that, I know things, but I am not good at it. I'm kind of annoyingly good at stuff that's happened since I've been paying attention with my own eyes and ears.
Okay.
And Adam Wainwright has to be Adam Wainwright. Albert Pujols is the tippy top of my lifetime as a Cardinal fan and player. Just throw that in there. And I would say Wainwright and Yachty are right underneath Pujols.
Okay. So
for the story.
So that's a yes.
I don't know if it extends like nationally.
Okay.
To the Hall of Fame.
Okay. For Waino and Yachty or just for Waino?
Yachty.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Just had to make sure. So you're saying no.
I'm saying
you're leaning no.
No, I'm voting. I hope so. And I would be so happy and proud of him.
So I would lean probably on the side of no. However, I think that baseball is a game that is changing, and it is changing drastically. And one thing that I think is going to become the new 200 wins is going to become the new
the 3,000 hits,
300 wins.
Wins.
No, I don't know if we'll ever see someone win 300 games
Because people don't
again.
pitch the way they pitched before.
Because people don't
It's too
pitch the way they
specialized.
used to pitch. So I think that 200 wins is going to become more and more impressive as time goes on. If it happens, it's going to take a while. It's not going to be something that happens in the
He's
next
not a first ballot
10 years.
guy.
It's not going to be something that happens even the next 10 years. It's going to stretch out for a while.
Leah, you have any thoughts on Adam Wainwright as a Hall of Famer?
I'm not really a good person to ask. I mean, I keep up with Cardinals stuff, but not.
You're
to that
a Cardinals
extent.
fan.
Yeah,
But not like a baseball nerd.
No. I mean, I like him. I know he's
Yeah.
super awesome, and I agree. I think he would be in the St. Louis Hall of Fame, but I don't know about nationally.
Yeah. Okay.
I have an AMA question from one of our listeners for our newest producer.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Is that Leah?
That's Leah. This one is from Balls. He wants to know, Leah, out of the 2 lifts in Olympic weightlifting, which is your favorite?
If you're new, or if you haven't heard us talk about Leah, one of her biggest passions is, would you say weightlifting, or would you refer to it as something else?
No, weightlifting.
CrossFit, just weightlifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For that, my answer would be like clean and jerk, because I recently hit a new PR on it.
What is it? You want to talk about it or no? I don't know protocol here because I don't do any of that stuff.
Again, I have videos on my Instagram, so you can see everything. So it's I don't really want to explain the lift.
I think
but
I saw this one.
You can go check it out on my Instagram. But I recently hit 187, so I cleaned it and jerked it overhead.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you say that favorite and best are the same? Like, is your favorite the one that you're the best at, or is it just the one you enjoy the most?
It's the one I'm best at. For Olympic
Okay,
lifting,
right,
then you
okay.
get into the whole other side of lifting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, I got a question that's pretty much just for Brad, but everybody can answer it. From Andrew, who is everyone's favorite Star Wars characters?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, man.
No. Character, you get one.
Character, yeah. My,
here all day.
I go
Yeah,
back
give me a
and
break.
I think about this
Mark
and I
Reardon's
think
like,
about
Brad,
this and I
stop
think about
talking
this.
about it. It's my turn.
Hey, sorry, Mark. Anyway, I always come back to Obi-Wan Kenobi. He is my favorite.
Hello there.
Yeah. Because I like
Ethan?
you got to see his whole character develop from episode 1, which was The Phantom Menace, up to episode 4. You got to see his whole character arc. And then they even did a series, which I didn't love, but you got to see more about who Obi-Wan Kenobi is, and I just really like that character.
I would say it would probably be Master Yoda for me. I think that just growing up, I remember like when I did have like a lot of interest in Star Wars, it was, Yoda, he's so cool. And
You like Yoda.
He's so little and he's green and yeah.
All the good points.
Yeah.
All
Coming
good
from like a
points.
6-year-old at the time, and
Yeah.
I guess I haven't really thought about it since then. So just,
You like
stick
Yoda
with
more
it.
than Grogu?
Oh, Grogu's pretty cute.
He's so cute. Every Grogu meme is funny, except for the one that's on my Annie Frey Show Facebook page right now. My husband is a bully. Leah, you have a favorite Star Wars character? Can you name a Star Wars character?
Yeah, I can.
Are you a Star Wars fan?
No.
So
But
take this wherever
it's
you
the
like.
one that I get associated with just naturally.
Who's that?
Princess Leia.
Princess Leia?
Yeah.
Oh, because of Leia.
Yeah,
Leah.
yeah.
Leah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Han Solo, man. Are you kidding me?
Han Solo's pretty good.
Golly. My husband and I have the I love you, I know thing. I think it's just like one of the best lines ever in a movie ever. And but like I'm the I know person in our relationship just as a funny like I tell my husband I love him every day. But that's kind of something that I would say. But there's no way to pull that off on like a Disney shirt at Disney without sending a way wrong message. Like I'm wearing the I know shirt. But Han Solo, there's just something about Han Solo that is just fantastic.
It's that scoundrel about him.
Yes.
He's a scruffy-looking nerf herder.
Okay, I did not
gonna ask
know
what that
that
means.
about him, nor will I Google it. Mark wants to know, what are the top 3 items on your bucket list? I've never actually made a bucket list, but we can say, if you've got anything that's screaming there at the top, what are some bucket list items for you? Leah, do you have any off the top of your head? You think about it for a second?
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Ethan, you got any?
Mine are all sports related. I know my top 3.
What
It's
are
to
they?
go to a Game 7 of a World Series.
Oh, that's
It's
good.
to go to all 30 ballparks
Mm-hmm.
and to meet Albert Pujols.
Oh, that's
These are
that's
things I've
legit.
thought
Man, that those are achievable.
Mm-hmm.
Would you? So you work in the press box for the St. Louis Cardinals. You manage the press box or something.
Yeah, basically.
You're around high-profile people like Ryan Wiggins every day.
It's the best part of my day, every day.
How's it been today since he hasn't been
It
here?
has absolutely sucked. Ryan, I miss you.
I would assume that you've spent time around some of the players on the team.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Do you, when you see players on the team right now, you don't need to say any names or anything like that, but when you see players on the team right now, are you awestruck at all, or is it just a natural, normal thing? You know, they're just people.
At first, very much so. I was very shy at first. Now there's a little bit more of okay. When you do it every day, I go down to the clubhouse and post game every day to interact with players to grab audio for the post game show for KMOX. So constantly interacting with the players, it's definitely kind of smooth that out a little bit. So I would say at the beginning of the season, when I first started, yes, it was very much like, oh my gosh, that's Adam Wainwright, that's Nolan Arenado, that's, you know, it's.
Is that how you ask your questions? Oh my gosh, you're Nolan Arenado, what's that like?
You're my hero. That would be me. Yeah.
What's it like to be you? You're so cool.
You're so rich.
I'm going to stand right next to you and just be here.
So
let's say you go down to the clubhouse and you turn the corner and Albert Pujols is standing right there. What happens next?
I think I peed my pants.
Okay.
I'd freak out.
You need to like work on that.
No,
I
wouldn't actually. I've always kind of said like the one I would like kind of fangirl out would be Albert, but I think I'd probably shake his hand and just tell him how huge of a fan I am of him. I think one thing with Albert that I love so much too, though, is kind of like what we talked about a few weeks ago about Wainwright and how he carries himself off the field. Same thing with Albert, just being a strong believer. So looking up to him as a baseball player, but also as a person.
He's a human.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Don't pee your pants, though.
I will not actually pee my pants.
Wear extra pants or bring extra pants.
I'm not going to pee my pants, actually.
Okay.
Wiggins is a pretty funny guy, and I'm sitting in his chair today. I got nervous.
You got nervous. It's a lot of pressure. Brad, bucket list.
So I'm with Ethan on one of his for sure is to go visit all of the major league ballparks. That's on my list. I've checked a few off, but not all of them. Not even close to all of them. One of the number one things I want to get my pilot's license. I want to be able to fly a plane and have my pilot's license. And then my second one is I want to drive a legit NASCAR on a legit NASCAR racetrack.
Is that something that's managed? Like, is that something that can be worked out?
Yeah, you can do one of those Richard Petty racing experiences or something like that and drive it on a track and do that. I think that would be awesome. But I also want to be able to do it where it's not like you got somebody in there like, all right, slow it down now. It's like, no. I want to do this. I want to do this for real. So, yeah, pilot's license, I think all three of those are pretty achievable.
Okay. Leah?
Yeah, similar to you, I don't really have a bucket list, but up until recently, it was more of a career goal. I wanted to work, and I still kind of do, hopefully, down the road, want to work with CrossFit, their media team. Because I used to watch, like, CrossFit stuff, and their media team kind of fell apart, so I would love to get into that.
Be a part of that?
Yeah.
Cool. I want to go to Australia because my grandmother was from there. She came here on a ship after she met and married my grandfather. Sorry, Dad, if I get this wrong. I think she was like 18 or 19 when they got married. She got on a ship, came home, left home, came through California into Union Station in St. Louis, lived with my grandfather's parents for a year before he thankfully came home from the war. Can you imagine if he hadn't? And so she grew up in Australia. I would love to just go learn and live there for a few months and just experience that. The baseball stadiums is my husband and my consistent goal. I think we've been to about 8 or 9.
That's pretty good.
I don't know. Let me list them off real quick.
Almost a third of the way there.
Busch Stadium, Kansas City, Kauffman Stadium, Wrigley. We've been to Philly. We've been to Baltimore. We've been to, where did I just go? Cleveland. We've been to Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Is that 8?
That's 8.
That might be it as far as cities that we've gone in. So we We always try to work that out. We always try to find a concert or something we want to go to.
Nice.
And we try to match up concert calendars with the Cardinals calendars.
There you go.
So Cleveland was where we went this time because we went to Columbus to see Chris Stapleton and George Strait. I think those are maybe my two what I would call bucket list things. I have other great aspirations, but I wouldn't really put them in bucket list categories. All right, we've got other questions coming in here, and I would like to continue to get to them, so we're going to take a quick break, and we will answer some more of your questions when we return. And then at 2 o'clock, X's and O's. What?
I just got a text message about this.
What?
So we are going to play X's and O's, just not with who we thought we were going to play with.
Okay. Do we have other contestants?
I'm going to go work on that as soon as
We
go to
have
break.
X's
The life
and
of a
O's.
producer.
Yeah, welcome, Leah. We need to go find some people on the street. We're going to play X's and O's. And this is another instance where Ryan Wiggins has put the game together and handed it off, or maybe even up to Trisha. And Trisha's going to be our host. And watch as we scramble in the next 20 minutes to find out what happens next. A tease for even me. We'll be right back. ClassicKitchenRefacing.com, the website you can go visit right now to learn how you can remodel your whole kitchen for so much less than a full kitchen remodel. When you reach out to Classic Kitchen Refacing, they're in St. Anne. I've been to the shop there. It's beautiful. You walk in and you can see and touch and feel the beautiful Cambria countertops, and you can see how they do the refacing of the kitchen cabinets that are in your kitchen right now. They can give them a wood look, a paint color look, and when you put in the countertops and you add in a beautiful backsplash that you can choose, they've got lots of different options there. All of a sudden, your kitchen comes together in an incredibly beautiful modern look for so much less money. Go with people who understand quality products, the best in skill and service. They are at Classic Kitchen Refacing. Call them at 314-739-1730. 314-739-1730. Look them up online and learn more about what they can do for you in your kitchen by visiting ClassicKitchenRefacing.com.
Siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to maximize your investment. The rising prices on vinyl siding has made Hardie Siding a great alternative. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie Shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The people have spoken. I want to thank you, St. Louis, for voting Onder Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
With the Wholesale Formula Seminar, find out how to start your own Amazon business.
Hey, I'm Rick Manello. 2 years after attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I was able to sell my Amazon business for over $400,000. Hi, I'm Amy Sherlock. I attended the Wholesale Formula Seminar to learn how to work from home while raising my son. Today, I do $175,000 in sales per month.
Hi, I'm Hillary. Before attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I was a school teacher. Today, I work from home selling products on Amazon.
Hi, Ian Bauer. My first year averaged $45,000 a month in sales. Now I'm at $90,000 a month and hardly working.
Whether you have a business and want to sell more on Amazon, retired, or just need extra money, America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost will show you how. Attend Dylan's live in-person seminar for only $49.99, guaranteed, or your money back. That's right, discover the easy way to make money with Amazon. Meet Dylan Frost at the Wholesale Formula Live 2-hour seminar Saturday, September 30th, 11 a.m. at Aviator Hotel, Lindbergh Boulevard, St. Louis, Missouri. Register at thewholesaleformula.com.
Hey, the YouTube live chat poll today is Joe Biden the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee? Yes or no? Jump on Annie's YouTube page. That's youtube.com/@AnnieFrey and vote in our poll. And then comment in the chat and tell us what you think. Why or why not will Joe Biden be the Democrat presidential nominee? Also, while you're there, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. We're closing in on 6,000 subscribers, so help us get over that line. The time is 1:43. This update is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
FREYDAY.com.
Critical thinking in critical times. This is St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Everyone is welcome.
She packed my bags last night, pre-flight. 0 hour, 9 a.m.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
And I'm gonna be high
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
as a kite by then. I miss the earth so much. I miss my wife. It's lonely out in space on such a timeless flight.
What was the song that was playing when Donald Trump found out that Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away? It wasn't this. It was Elton John.
Oh, it was Elton John.
Was it this?
It might have been this because it wasn't like an upbeat Elton John
No,
song.
it was so right for the moment. And the press asked him as he was getting ready to get on. Somebody comment on it. Somebody knows. Somebody tell me. But it was in front of the airplane, and Trump was standing there getting ready to take questions, and someone said, "Do you have a comment on the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg?" And he like takes a step back, practically, kind of pulls back a minute. And that was one of the most telling experiences that I've ever seen of Donald Trump. Like, who is Donald Trump at the core? Because that is, I mean, to understand the gravity of Ruth Bader Ginsburg passing away, what that meant for the Supreme Court, the icon that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was, and knowing that Donald Trump was going to replace her, through the nomination process, appointment process, or whatever. Donald Trump had the opportunity to do what I think a lot of people would do, which is show outwardly that reaction of, what does this mean for me? And what Donald Trump did in that moment was the opposite of that. He paused. He took a moment. That music was playing. Tiny Dancer. Thank you, Chris. Yes. Yes. And that was playing in the background because it was post-rally. And he said really lovely things about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. He didn't do anything political. And I thought that was an incredibly raw moment for Donald Trump, for the world to see in a way that we wouldn't normally. I think he just handled it really well. And I'm always kind of expecting him to handle those instances in his own Donald Trump bombastic way. And I was like, wow, that was very raw, very real, very sensitive, and very appropriate. And when I hear Elton John sing some of those songs, because some of them sound the same. Sorry, Elton. He didn't care. I just think, I think back to that. Before we get back into Ask Me Anything, today the announcement from the United States Senate and the family of Senator Dianne Feinstein has passed away.
She was an incredibly effective person at every line, at every level, and she was at all of those levels on the way to the Senate. Those of us who were fortunate to call Dianne our colleague can say we served alongside the longest-serving female senator in American history. Dianne was a trailblazer in her beloved home state of California, and our entire nation are better for her dogged advocacy and diligent service.
So Senator McConnell there reacting to that. Can you imagine on the day that Senator Dianne Feinstein passes away at 90 years old? Just earlier, this is now shifted. Senator Feinstein's still not the top story on Fox News, which kind of surprises me. Right before I interviewed Congressman Smith at 105, which you can check on the podcast in a bit or rewind on the Odyssey app, man indicted in Tupac Shakur's 1996 murder. What are the odds of that kind of a huge story coming at the death of a senator is a huge, huge story. A Nevada man has been indicted in the killing of rapper Tupac Shakur. Dwayne Keffy, I don't know, D. Davis, was indicted on the charge of murder with the use of a deadly weapon. Prosecutors announced in court on Friday. Chief Deputy District Attorney Mark DiGiacomo said a grand jury had been seated in the case, quote, for several months, end quote. The district attorney described Davis as the, quote, on-the-ground, on-site commander who, quote, ordered the death of Shakur. Man, that story's made a few laps around the track in time, 1996. So that also happened today. But we also want to recognize the death of Senator Dianne Feinstein and the appropriate respects to be paid there. You guys ready for a little more Ask Me Anything before we wrap up the 1 o'clock hour?
Yep.
By the way, I think that we're going to have Leah face off with her new boss.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
I don't like the way you worded that.
Yeah. He's really, really imposing and mean.
Head honcho.
He's like, he just wields power everywhere he goes.
I met him before.
And he really doesn't like losing.
Great.
We talk about the caste system right here. I mean, Steve Moore.
Sometimes we have to call him king.
Oh, God.
All right. So ask me anything. Did you have any more that you wanted to ask off the top here?
Off the top, there was one from one of our listeners. They want to know, what do you think are, and this is specific for you, what do you think are some of the most important lessons kids can learn from competing in athletics?
How to lose.
I would agree with that 100%.
Like the most important lesson.
It is the reason you want to put your kids in sports.
Winning is easy. And, not getting there. But when you win, nobody needs to teach. Well, that's not necessarily true, but how you feel and how you act when you win, there's a very natural way to do that. There's also a very natural way to lose that you really have to learn how to handle it. And I have had to learn that lesson. I mean, it's not like, oh, I'm teaching my kids and I'm great at it. I'm not great at it. I'm doing the best I can. But losing is really, really hard. And the worst thing in the world are grown people who don't know how to lose.
Yeah, and I would go as far to say that I think that we have a glut of grown people in the world right now that don't know how to lose.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even, forget about, Washington, D.C. is fully... Forget about that. You know people who you work with. You know people who you maybe go to church with, or maybe you serve on some sort of community group with or something like that. People who are in your social circles, and you just know that if the event comes up where there's a competition of some kind, that this person is not going to handle losing well. And many people have been subjected to those individuals who are bulldozers. They just will mow everything down in their way. And there's this mentality about it that oh, I'm a winner. What all I do is win, no matter what. That when you don't, thank you. When you don't, a little acknowledgement, I appreciate that. When you don't actually have to compete because you've mowed everybody down and gotten everybody out of your way, you're actually not winning anything because you're not competing. And when you, God, I'm speaking about specific people in my mind right now. When you watch people, and they're usually narcissists, when you watch people underhandedly eliminate obstacles in their way so that the road is paved for them, it's really an amazing thing to watch over time how at the end they stand there with all of their victories and nobody to celebrate with. Nothing else around. And it is the saddest thing to witness. It's not, I have been at the hand of these people, and I know that over the course of time, being a super competitive person, that I've over prioritized winning more than the journey to get there, the practice, the effort, and all that you need to put into. The win is just the end. The win is the punctuation on the end of the sentence, but the sentence is what speaks about you or that experience. And children who are coached by those people, officiated by those people, and parented by those people, those kids who don't know how to lose, you can go to any baseball field, any basketball court, any football field, soccer field, stadium, arena, court, whatever, and you will quickly be able to identify that kid belongs to those parents. And They don't know how to lose. And they're not going to ever learn how to lose, but the world will end up delivering them L's over and over and over again, and they're just going to be miserable. And it's so sad to watch. I have, in the way that my life shifted, where we found ourselves with a new community, a new family that we've been around, and the reprioritization of doing things in a good and right way, I found that it actually makes every win, no matter how you get there, so much more enjoyable because you're doing it with good people who are seeking out a good outcome as opposed to just a dub.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
The other thing is when it comes to losing is, and I tell my kids this all the time, and I've given speeches on this to politics when I'm keynoting like Lincoln Day dinners and Reagan Day dinners. The whole losing with excuses, those people who win all the time because they underhandedly eliminate all of their obstacles before they have to compete. If you were thinking about the Roman Empire, like what is Joaquin Phoenix's name in that?
Commodus.
Stabs Russell Crowe before they go fight so he can win. That's not a real win. When you know what your excuse is for if you lose before you take the field, you're a loser. It doesn't matter if you have the most points or runs or anything at the end of the game. If you figured out what your excuse is before you compete, you are going to be a loser. Stop being a loser. And that's where the music drops. Anybody else thoughts on, I mean, I'm the only one with kids here, but like what lessons kids need to learn from competing in athletics?
I would say just from my own personal experience dealing with, I had situations of frustration over whether it be lack of playing time or feeling as though people were getting, that over me. Learning how to communicate disagreements, but also in a respectful way with coaches has been something huge for me. And not, I've seen it where parents do that for their kids, and I feel like you're doing a disservice because it's almost this is something like that is fought for you and that you deserve rather than something like to earn. So I think that that's something also that can be a huge thing for kids to learn as well as they grow up. That's more of like a into high school thing, but still.
But even into that, developing leadership skills as you're playing, whenever you're amongst teammates, sometimes you're in a position where you are the guy or the girl on the team, and maybe your team isn't as great as you had hoped or whatever, but being able to work with those people, to talk to those people, to help coach them up, to work together and to build a cohesive unit that you can have success together with. You can't learn that anywhere else but on the athletic field because you're all in it together. And to win, you all have to be rowing the boat in the same direction.
Yeah. We got like 20 seconds. You got anything, Dad?
Yeah, I think a big one for kids to learn that will stick with them as they get older is to be coachable.
Mm-hmm.
Learning to be coachable and take
like
credit.
You don't have everything ready to go when you walk in the door.
Yeah. Learning to accept criticism and grow from it, learn from it, not just complain and say, nope, I'm doing it my way.
That's great. That's great also. All right. Leah takes on Steve and just show him what's up. We'll see who's the gracious winner and the humble victor when we come back. Don't go away.
There's no one there to raise.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Ophthalmology Associates. My eye health is super important to me for a variety of reasons. About 30 years ago, I had an eye disease, and I almost had a retinal detachment, had surgery, everything has been okay, but regular eye care has become important for me and has been for decades, and I only trust the best. And that's doctors Greg Birdie and Ranjan Malhotra at Ophthalmology Associates. They're here in St. Louis to take care of all of your vision needs. Maybe you have dry eye or your eyes itchy and scratchy. It might be more than just allergies. And Ophthalmology Associates is a leader in dry eye diagnosis and treatment. Let's talk LASIK. With modern LASIK procedures, more people can benefit, and LASIK can reduce or eliminate your need for contacts and glasses. Even if there's nothing going on in particular, annual eye health exams can prevent many kinds of eye and health problems, and they're typically covered by insurance. If you want excellent eye care, trust Ophthalmology Associates. It's a great office experience and staff. They're always on the leading edge of the latest technology. 12990 Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270, 314-966-5000, online at youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
There's been a death in the U.S. Senate. I'm John Saucier, Fox News. President Biden serving alongside the late Senator Dianne Feinstein for more than 15 years, calling her a true trailblazer. Fox's Shannon Bream has more about her legacy.
She was breaking glass ceilings back in the 60s. I mean, the things that she did, she was the first in a lot of things that she did. And she was somebody who fought hard. She was a servant to her state and to her country. Whether you agreed with her or not, she was committed to the battle. And so I think she garnered a lot of respect on both sides of the aisle just for her staying power and her fighting power, whether you had enormous policy differences with her or not. But I just love that we get to walk through these steps of her life and see that she was somebody who was constantly pushing the boundaries for women.
Senator Feinstein was 90 years old. The House of Representatives defeating Speaker McCarthy's bill to try and avoid a government shutdown. The vote, 232 to 198. That's interesting because 21 Republicans voting no. The White House expressing frustration with the possibility of keeping the lights on in Washington. Not looking so good. Office of Management and Budget Director Shalonda Young says the impasse has been brought on by the House GOP's betrayal of a debt ceiling deal that Congress and the president made earlier this year.
The one side, House Republicans, are refusing to live up to their end of the bargain.
Well, House Republicans want deep spending cuts as well as more funding for border security before they agree to any funding plan. The White House says President Biden would veto that border security plan passed by the House. The Supreme Court agreeing to decide whether state laws seeking to regulate Facebook, TikTok, X, and other social media platforms violate the Constitution. The justices will review laws enacted by Republican-dominated legislatures and signed by Republican governors in Florida and Texas. Both laws aim to prevent the social media companies from censoring users based on their viewpoints. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We keep the warm times going this afternoon, all about sunshine, but bring it up to about 88 degrees for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 80s for evening plans, 62 for the low. The weekend, Saturday, sunny skies, very warm again, 88 clear skies on Saturday night. Evening temperatures in the 80s, 62 for the low, and Sunday sunny, and right back to 88. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With so many bottles to choose from, there's always something new to try at Total Wine & More. How about a great Prosecco for under $8 and a French Rosé for under $7? With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love and love what you find only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Conservative solutions, objective conclusions. For news and opinion, this is St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Well, things are happening on a Friday afternoon here on the Annie Frey Show, and we are glad that you were here with us. Ethan, come on, man. We're waiting for you. Get in here. Gosh. Got Leah hired to be the AP, and now you're just waltzing in when the intro's over.
Well, it just happens that I was down the hall, and then I hear the lovely voice of Steve Moore on the opposite side of the hall where I was going to go get him. So.
Ethan walks in the door, and we're like, get Steve. He goes, okay. And he just walked right back out. You're not busy, are you? You can't swear the FCC is in charge here.
I'm aware how that all works.
I just want to remind you, in case you didn't get enough time to shift from where you were to what you're doing right now.
I've been in sales meetings all week long.
Oh.
Because I'm in programming.
Yes. Now would be a great time to tell you if you'd like to advertise on the Annie Frey Show that we could work you in.
That's exactly right. And Ryan Wiggins said to mention that he's still available as well.
Oh, I'm sure he did. Did he pay you for that endorsement?
No.
No. You should.
No.
All right. Well, a little X's and O's here. We've got a guest host here with Trisha. Trisha, you're very prepared for this.
I am ready.
I'm not actually comfortable with how prepared this segment actually is this week.
It's great.
It's going to be fine.
It is great. I'm going to read word for word what Ryan gave me, and I did not look at it before.
That sounds like you're passing the blame.
It's great. We'll be fine.
Just in case.
It's not like the boss is in here. Or
we've got three
new teammates.
Yes, there's a lot happening. 3 experts this week are Brad and Annie, myself, and Ethan, bumped up to expert. How do you feel about being an expert this week?
Well, didn't I do it last week too?
Did you?
This is my second time.
Second
being
time.
An expert.
So you're an expert.
Yeah, I did it last week with the diamond shop people.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've been on this level.
It's been a
Annie.
long.
What makes him an expert?
Long.
Wow.
We don't want to answer that on the air. Necessity.
It's like Survivor.
Speaking of our contestants for today, Steve, we called you the boss.
Okay.
Is that qualify?
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
What is your official title?
Trisha's in charge, really.
Operations manager?
Operations manager.
Director? Dictator?
Managers. Dictator.
I said king.
I like dictator.
Dictator works. You could get a lot more done that way.
That's exactly right.
Mr. Tater.
Didn't Barack Obama, or was it George W. Bush?
George Bush.
It's
So
like,
there's nothing wrong with a dictatorship as long as you're the dictator.
Yeah. It's like I could see the bright side of that if you're in this position to be in power. So Steve is going to face off with the newest hire to 97.1 FM Talk, Leah Olmstead. Are you ready for this?
This is like
You
initiation.
Yeah.
You intimidated?
This is
Okay.
hazing. And Todd is
there's
now in
Todd.
the room.
Welcome, Todd.
Todd the drummer, always walking
Yay,
around in
Todd.
his lamb skin with his drum. He's in here and he's ready to go. Can I just turn it over to you right now? Do you need to host?
Sure. I mean, I've got questions to read, things to play. It's probably going to be fine. Steve and Leah, welcome to X's and O's. I am not Ryan Wiggins, but I'm doing Ryan Wiggins' duties today. Who wants to be X's? Who wants to be O's?
I'll let you go first.
I'll be X's.
All right. Leah is first. She is X's. This is a traditional game of tic-tac-toe and Hollywood Squares combined on the radio. It all makes a lot of sense if you're in here and playing it. Leah, if you could pick a number associated with one of these tic-tac-toe slots on the board.
Which spot do you want, Leah?
I'll do 9.
9. That is bottom right. And we're going straight to a question. Who would you like to be your question answerer this time?
Oh, is that how that works?
Yep. You pick an expert. They're going to answer, and you have to say if they are right or wrong.
You just have to agree or disagree with
I'll
us.
pick Ethan.
Ethan.
Here we go.
All right, Ethan, you ready?
No.
All right, me neither. Radio host Charlemagne the God labeled Joe Biden the donkey of the day after Biden called LL Cool J boy. This happened at the Congressional Black Caucus's annual legislative conference. Ethan.
This feels like the beer, not the bean.
Yeah, right.
Probably real.
What does LL Cool J stand for?
Oh, I think I know this.
Ooh, too young for this.
Rude.
Easy.
Good grief, I'm too old for it.
I'm too young for this. LL Cool J?
LL Cool J. What does it stand for?
Long live Cool John.
Is Long Live Cool John the answer to this question?
Are you too young to know too,
Yeah,
Leah?
I already said that. I'm like,
Oh.
sounds great. Yeah.
So you just have to agree or disagree if that is the correct
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
You're going to agree with that?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is incorrect.
Ladies love. Is that it?
Ladies love
Cool, and I don't know what his name
James.
is. James.
Yep,
Oh.
ladies love Cool James.
So
So,
what am I?
circle gets the square.
Yes. All right, Steve, you're off to a
Steve's
great
up.
start.
Awesome.
She's just sucking up. You know that, right?
I'm going to Annie.
Okay.
Okay,
Hope it's not about
which
rapping.
space?
Oh, I will go with the 6, please.
6. That is middle right. All right, Annie, you ready?
Yes, I
All
am.
right.
That's literally all I am.
Protesters on the right are calling for a boycott of this company after they pulled their ads from Russell Brand's content on Rumble, even though the allegations are solely allegations at this point. What company pulled their ads and could now be in the boycott crosshairs?
I mean, YouTube demonetized him, but that's not a company that was advertising with Russell Brand. And I don't know anything that Russell Brand was advertising. So I am going to say Bud Light.
Steve, is the correct answer to this question Bud Light?
I can't imagine.
Who is Russell Brand?
He was married to Katy Perry for
Yeah.
a minute, and that is all I know.
Yeah.
It's not Bud Light. Just
I was going to say no. I think because the question states who could be in their crosshairs. They're already in the crosshairs.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say I disagree.
You are correct in disagreeing.
Great choice.
The company was, so Circle gets that square too. Steve is on his way to a tic-tac-toe. The company in question was Burger King.
Russell Brand had Burger King endorsements?
Sure did.
Oh my gosh. Why? Clearly wasn't making it into Steve's world or mine. All right, Leah.
All right.
1.
All right. That is top left. And, ooh, I've been waiting to do this all day.
Oh, God.
Whoopee! So this means that there is a traditional audio clip in this. It is not altered. That will be a different sound bite. Anybody that's heard before knows the game, knows that. Okay. In an interview this week.
We need an expert?
Yep, sure do. Who wants to answer this question for Leah? And Leah gets to choose.
Is Brad one of the experts?
Yes, he is.
Okay, I'll choose Brad.
All right.
Sure
We are going to get through this. Brad, in an interview this week, Ted Cruz made a surprising prediction. Here is what he said.
Here's the scenario that I think is perhaps most likely and most dangerous. In August of 2024, the Democrat kingmakers jettison Joe Biden and parachute in.
That's how I feel.
Brad, who did Ted Cruz predict the Democrats would turn to?
Well, Ted Cruz didn't actually predict this. Annie predicted this first. This is Michelle Obama.
Take that, Cruz! I hope he's right, because I don't
Leah,
know.
Is it Michelle Obama?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. I don't know the
right.
answer.
Here is who Ted Cruz predicted.
Jettison Joe Biden and parachute in Michelle Obama.
I've been saying for a really long time.
She's on the board.
Yay.
At what point am I manifesting this and responsible
I
for
really
it?
need you to stop
Okay, I'm
manifesting
sorry.
it.
Manifest some good stuff. Like I could win the lottery.
Okay, I'll try. I'll take suggestions.
Free lunch
down.
Fridays. Anything?
Know anybody who can make that happen?
Boss.
Steve, it's your turn.
I'll take number 3 for the win, please.
Number 3 for a tic-tac-toe.
A tic-tac-toe. You don't get to leave if you get a tic-tac-toe.
No.
You're here for all 9 squares.
One and done. Who's answering for you?
I'm going to go. So, if you go with Ethan, it's the equivalent of Hannah. And she never got any right the entire time she was in this show.
That's why we got rid of her.
So I'm going to go with Brad. So with Brad, you're going with I'll agree with Brad. And with Ethan, I'm going with dead against. Whatever he's got.
So you're feeling Brad.
Not offended at all. I got 2 out of 3
So you
last
can't
week.
say that on the radio.
Is that an FCC thing
You
too?
cannot
You're
say
not?
feeling
Okay.
Brad on the radio.
Okay. By the way, Hannah always, in the sweetest possible way, would answer Abraham Lincoln or
Yes.
George Washington as to not hurt the contestant.
Yes.
So, we'll
All
stand
right,
up for Hannah.
Brad, this is for the top right square. This would give Steve his first tic-tac-toe. It is another... Yep. All right. This is a clip from the debate.
And I want to look at that camera right now and tell you, Donald, I know you're watching. You can't help yourself. I know you're watching, okay? And you're not here tonight, not because of polls and not because of your indictments. You're not here tonight because you're afraid of being on the stage and defending your record. You're ducking these things. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You keep doing that, no one up here is going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck.
Okay. So y'all heard
that
that.
is slightly altered. But it
I
actually
watched the debate. I'm like, I have no idea. No, I'm joking.
That was one of the great rehearsed lines from Wednesday night, and in true Ryan Wiggins fashion, it has very little to do with this question.
Yeah, you knew that was coming.
Was Chris Christie...
Who was the president in 1842?
Abraham Lincoln. Was Chris Christie the oldest person on the stage at Wednesday night's GOP debate?
Ooh.
Brad
No,
is
no.
answering.
No, no.
Well, I never thought about it, but how old is Burgum?
I don't know how old Christie is. I don't know how old Burgum is, and
They
I don't know how old Mike Pence is.
There's like a 20-year span, 25 years of age that they could be.
Yeah. So I'm saying no. He was not the oldest person on the debate stage.
Steve, what say you?
I should have went with Ethan.
You say that now.
Yeah, there's a play there. You said no, Chris Christie isn't the oldest.
Is not the oldest.
It's for tic-tac-toe. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's going to make your whole weekend.
I'm going to agree with Brad.
Gonna agree with Brad.
I would agree with Brad, but I don't know.
You guys are all right.
Hooray!
No, he is 61, Doug Burgum is 67, and Mike Pence is 64.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would have thought
He's
Pence was
third
the oldest.
Yeah.
That is just a guess. It is
Yeah.
clearly.
Literally could have been anybody. Leah's up.
Let's go with 5.
Number 5. All right, who's answering?
Let's go with Annie.
Let's do it.
Annie has.
Don't give me a dumb question. Okay.
In the sound.
Joe Biden.
This is a real clip from the week run through AI software, so the clip is real, the audio is not. Tell me, Annie, who said this?
If Stalin's police state came to arrest you, they didn't have to give you a reason. It's just like, sorry, you're on the list. Come with us.
Sounds like Snoop Dogg. Do you want it one more time?
No.
Okay.
I believe that was yesterday on the Annie Frey show, Dinesh D'Souza.
Leah?
Yeah.
Confidence is just radiating out of her.
Annie says that was yesterday. Dinesh D'Souza on the Annie Frey show. Here is the actual clip.
Stalin's police state came to arrest you. They didn't have to give
That
you a
is
reason.
correct.
It's just
Glad I
like,
got that
sorry,
one
you're
right.
on the list. Come
One
with
of these
us.
days, it's actually going to be Snoop Dogg that said
Yeah.
it. And then we're all going to be tripping out.
Exactly.
You guys should have Snoop Dogg guest host this when Ryan isn't here.
You're the one who schedules my fill-in, so you just
You're right.
you just
Steve,
make that
I'm gonna
happen.
call Snoop Dogg and see what that looks like. Is that
Word.
okay? Steve, you're up.
Do that again.
Annie can't breathe.
Don't do
Annie cannot breathe.
Word.
Right now.
That was the widest word ever delivered.
He
Word.
is the dictator. Everybody be cool.
I'm going to go
Laugh at his
not
jokes.
for the block and take number 8.
All right,
Okay.
number 8. That is the bottom middle. That is another audio. I have been. We aired a portion. Oh,
Still
wait.
need an
Who
expert.
is. Guys, I'm trying.
It's okay.
I'm
We're here for
going
you.
with
This is still
Hannah.
better than usual.
Now you want me.
Hannah.
Hannah.
Ford.
Hannah Ford.
There we go.
Yep. Okay. I asked the questions. And what number 8? Okay. We aired a portion of Trump's campaign rally in South Carolina this Monday. But Fox cut into it, coincidentally or not, right after Trump said this.
I was doing another interview. We had 271 million people listening to the Tucker Carlson interview. That's an all-time record.
So that happened. They cut it off.
Okay.
Who was the anchor who spoke transitioning from the Trump rally
Give me a break.
into the other news?
I didn't even know that happened.
Bernard Shaw.
I read this question.
Walter
the other day.
Cronkite.
Ryan's like, well, they're going to know.
I
I'm like,
keep
don't know about that.
telling him it has to be news that we cover.
You know,
We're doing a critique right now of Ryan's performance.
it's stuff like this.
Well, it's a Fox host, so you got that much going for you.
Yeah. I'll go with Jesse Waters.
I'll disagree.
All right. Yeah, it was not Jesse Waters. It was Martha McCallum. So
What?
Steve,
Now I want to know what she did. We don't have that information.
Of course not. He mentioned Tucker. Fox cut into it.
And she just soldiered on. I got to go back and watch that because as a broadcaster, I'll be able to know kind of what she's thinking by the look on her face, and I want to know what that look on her face looks like.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Is that Whose turn is it?
It's
gonna
Leah's
be
turn.
Leah's turn.
And she's X's?
She is X's.
And circles, O's, I always say circles. O's are threatening for another tic-tac-toe. Let's take a quick break, and we will finish this game of X's and O's. When we return, stick around and go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote on today's YouTube live chat poll. Is Joe Biden the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee? Yes or no, man, folks? I've been saying no, but I want to see if you agree with me. I think the last time we did this poll, about 60% of you said no. See what it is today at 2:45. We'll finish X's and O's when we come back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
CAJonesInc.com. You looking to build a house on the Illinois side of the river? I want you to consider going online right now to CAJonesInc.com. First and foremost, if you've been looking for the house to make your home and there's nothing out there right now that's the right price or the right building, they have new home builds on CAJonesInc.com right now that you can purchase. If you are looking to build a custom home for yourself, if you're looking to pick one of the buildable plans that they have that you can really play with on their interactive tool that they have on their website, then you can go check out the different layouts, the ranches, the 2 stories, ones with walkout basements, and you can see how many options you have when it comes to building a home with C.A. Jones. They're building on the Illinois side of the river. They believe in improving lives through quality homes and community involvement. They are proud supporters of the military and first responders, and they offer veterans, active, and first responder specials on new homes, solar, and remodels. Reach out to C.A. Jones and ask them about making your next house your home. Visit them online at CAJonesInc.com.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
What's up, everybody? I'm Danny Parkins, based out of Chicago. This is my buddy Andrew Filipponi. He's based out of Pittsburgh. You really got to check out our podcast, First and Pod.
Twice a week, we're going to break down the NFL after Thursday Night Football and Sunday Night Football. It's every team, it's every game, it's all 32 teams. We give you a complete picture, and we get into it. We don't kiss each other's fannies on this show.
New episodes of First and Pod available when you wake up every Monday and Friday morning throughout the football season in the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you like to work with a local company that gives back to the community, Window World is the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. Mark Cox here from my friends out at Window World. What a great product. A lifetime warranty. It covers all the parts, the glass breakage, the labor. You've heard me say that before. And they've been around for over 20 years. They have improved the look and the efficiency of over 70,000 homes in the greater St. Louis area. They have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. That's hard to get, right? And that's important. They're ranked number 1 in the number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. Call them for a free estimate. Let them show you why they say simply the best for less. New doors, new windows. With Window World, they're now offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800, or you can go online anytime to windowworld.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to 20% on a new HVAC system when you bundle it with attic insulation. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Want to listen to 97.1 outside the listening area? There's an app for that. Download the Odyssey app, and one tap will turn the station on. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk.
Ah, yes. Well, looky here, ah, what do we have? Another pretty thing ready for me to grab. But little does she know that I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing, 'cause at the end of the night, it is her I'll be holding. I love you so, hey, that's what you'll say. You'll tell me, baby, please don't go away. But when I play,
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Friday. It's 2:28 on a Friday, and that's just good news. I think that that's just generally something that you hear, and you're like, yeah, that is good news. I'd like to hear more of that. 2:28 on a Friday. We're glad that you're here with us. We're in the midst of a very riveting X's and O's game, and we're going to finish that up here in a second. A reminder, you can join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel right now and vote in the live chat poll. Is Joe Biden the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee? Yes or no? We've had some conversations. We took some calls in the 12 o'clock hour of people who think that the passing of Senator Dianne Feinstein at 90 years old, that announcement was made this morning that she had passed away, that the dominoes could fall in favor of something that is not so great for Joe Biden. You're going to need a new senator from California. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, gets to appoint that replacement for that Senate seat. And who might that be? What if it is Kamala Harris gets appointed to that seat? The vice presidency becomes vacated. Maybe Gavin Newsom becomes the vice president. And then Joe Biden pardons Hunter and maybe himself. I don't know. There are Fox News headlines out right now that talk about how Hunter Biden was being explored for sex trafficking. It's getting weirder every day. Oh, and there's also this headline, which we should add in here. Biden admin approves or moves to unleash apex predator near rural community. He's going to release grizzly bears.
That's the B2.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to tell you any more about that story. You can find that out yourself. I like leaving it right there because that's more fun. Are we ready? Todd? Is Todd back in the room? There he is.
There he is.
Whose turn is it?
Hey, Todd. All right,
Leah's.
right? It's Leah's turn. All right, right now we've got Steve, the operations dictator of Odyssey, and Leah, the new associate producer of the Annie Frey Show, going head-to-head.
He's never going to bail us out again.
Riveting game of X's and O's. Steve is O's. He's got one tic-tac-toe down the right-hand side of the board and the center middle bottom center square.
Nice, there it is. Could not have said it better.
And
Clear as
Leah
can be.
is X's. She's got a top left and the middle square. So Leah is up. Where's she going?
I'll choose 4.
4. That is middle left. And who's answering for you? I have no idea who's answered how many times.
Brad's
I'm keeping
always
track of
keeping
that.
track.
Everybody's answered twice, so everybody has one more selection.
All right.
I'll go with Ethan again.
Ethan.
Ethan will be off the board now.
All right. Number 4, Ethan. Only one candidate who participated in the first GOP primary debate was not present on Wednesday for the second debate. It was Asa Hutchinson, who was the governor the governor of which state?
California.
With great confidence, Ethan suggests
Leah,
California.
Was Asa Hutchinson the governor of California?
No.
No, that is correct. He is the governor of Arkansas.
What did I say, 4?
Yes, 4.
That's
Ooh,
what I was
perfect.
going to say Arkansas.
All right.
It was Arkansas.
Yeah.
I was right.
Arkansas.
She was right. We got it right together, So, I mean, that's all that matters.
It's a team player.
I guess we're giving awards to everybody.
Yeah.
It's like a participation medal.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a trophy. Steve, you're up. Who's answering and where are you going?
I'm going for the slaughter and taking number 7.
That is bottom left. That was
Finish him. That's dictator stuff right there.
Number 7, who's answering? It's got to be Brad or Annie.
All right, Miss Annie.
Let's do it.
Annie's up. All right.
If you would have picked Brad after looking me in the eyes like that, I'd have been so hurt.
All right, Annie.
Yeah.
AOC visited Wentzville this week to support the UAW strike. But when a reporter asked her what kind of car she owned, she backpedaled and claimed things were different for her because of the pandemic.
She backpedaled.
What make of car does AOC own?
Ooh.
Do you know this?
I do.
You should have picked Brad.
We've really got to talk to Ryan about the questions.
They're not reading.
I'm going to say a Tesla. I don't know.
Boss?
I think it's a reasonable answer, and I'm doing this for Leah, just because there's a shot in the dark you might get it wrong.
I'm going to disagree.
I don't know.
Unfortunately for you, Steve, Annie was right.
Really?
It is a Tesla.
Oh! I didn't know that. Hey, we got
Crap.
Todd has that
We have a tic-tac-toe with O's.
That's crap.
Which is Steve. We have a
This was so
tic-tac-toe
fun before.
with Leah, which is X's. And it's 4-4. And there's one square left that cannot formulate a tic-tac-toe, correct? So
Right.
it's just majority.
It'll be majority.
This is a tiebreaker.
So this went from a potential slaughter
Yeah.
to a comeback of a century.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed that I got AOC's
sucks.
car right.
She's the worst.
She's the worst. One of them.
I just figured she would have went with a foreign car. It just seemed to make sense to me.
Yeah, I would have thought so too.
am shook.
Ugh.
All right, Leah and Brad, number 2. You ready for this one?
Yes.
Sure.
In the debate Wednesday night, most of the candidates were wearing flag pins on their lapels.
Is this about wavy and straight flags?
Some of them.
Oh my God, I hope he screws up this question.
Some of them wavy flags.
Yeah.
Some of them straight flags.
Yeah.
But 2 of the candidates were not wearing flag lapel pins at all. Which 2 candidates were not wearing
I just want to
pins?
say that when really big news is happening and our job is to follow the biggest news stories of the day, that we are getting a really good glimpse of what Ryan Wiggins is paying attention to at that time.
Tupac's killer is indicted.
Yeah.
A U.S. senator has died.
Yeah. And
Who had wavy flags?
so 2 of them had no flag.
Yeah, those are the 2 we're looking for. There were
Okay.
some wavy. There were some straight.
Okay.
There were 2 with no flags at all.
Did they have to name both of them?
We have to have both names.
Wow.
Which 2 candidates were not wearing pins?
Okay. So the 2 that I've got in my brain are Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley.
Leah.
I don't know, so I'm going to go with that.
Leah is going with Brad's answer of
What am I
Vivek
supposed to do?
Ramaswamy
That's fine.
and Nikki Haley. Is that correct?
Those were my 2 choices.
Unfortunately, that is incorrect. Nikki Haley was right, but the other was Tim Scott.
Oh.
Tim Scott.
Yes.
What's wrong with South Carolina?
Steve,
Woo! Yeah.
Circle gets
In
the
true
square.
dictator form,
Yeah.
he wins.
Was this the best part of
Again.
your day? Come on.
I promise you it was the best part of
Yes,
the
that's fantastic.
day. That just goes to show how sucky my day was.
Yeah, it's all relative. But we wanted to add a bright spot.
It's all relative.
Honestly,
Everything is.
I honestly thought Brad would nail this. You would have done what I would have done. I'm like, yep, seems confident to
Yeah.
So that was as wild of a guess as I could take.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, Steve. Thanks for coming down.
me. I appreciate it. Enjoyed it.
Leah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Welcome.
Windows
thank you.
Updates for everybody.
My man. It's like Ryan's here.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get the final results of today's YouTube live chat poll. Is Joe Biden the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee? We want to know what you think. Leave your comments on the Annie Frey YouTube channel and the results when we come back.
Carry any I love you so.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
This is what I say. Run away, baby. The fall from my spell on you. You better get away, darling. 'Cause everything you heard is true. You're pouring a heart, will end up alone. 'Cause Lord knows I'm a rolling stone. So you better run away, baby.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. Go to the website. You can request an estimate for your flooring purchase right there, and you can see all of the different products that they have. I think that it's really important to understand that flooring, there's a lot of technology involved in flooring these days. So if you have not shopped for flooring in quite some time, it's really smart to go to a place that just does flooring. So when you go into Michael's Flooring Outlet and you're trying to get a specific look or an aesthetic, they can guide you with your budget in mind and with your lifestyle in mind. You got pets in the home or kids or grandkids, and you want to make sure that the flooring is going to last, that your investment is going to be a smart one. It starts by shopping with Michael's Flooring Outlet. They have the Mohawk Silk line, has silky softness, superior performance. If you're looking at replacing some of that old, worn, dingy carpet, go to Michael's Flooring Outlet and ask them about the Mohawk line. You'll be very glad you did. Shop at any of their 3 locations, the one closest to you after you kind of peruse online at igotfloored.com. St. Charles County, West County, and Darien Prairie, but online, like I said, at igotfloored.com.
Together Credit Union is the official banking partner of St. Louis City SC, which means Together Credit Union is the only place to find the official City SC debit card, which comes with special perks. There's no cost for the City SC debit card, so don't wait and sign up today online at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Now is the time to replace your home's exterior during Banner Construction's 30th anniversary with same as cash financing. Beautify the exterior of your home and save with famous James Hardie siding and Pella windows. James Hardie looks and feels like real wood with no maintenance. Call now for special financing. Let Banner Construction's exterior design team give you a free quote. Call 314-569-1050. That's 569-1050 or online, bannerconstruction.com. And have a banner day.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
All right, last call. YouTube live chat poll. Is Joe Biden the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee? Yes or no? Go on to youtube.com/@AnnieFry. Leave your vote there. Leave a comment about why you voted the way you voted, and then go ahead and subscribe. We're closing in on 6,000 subscribers, and we really want to get over that mark, and maybe you're the one that puts us over. The time is 2:40. This update is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Phil Holloway back with us, Fox News legal analyst.
The America as we know it is over. Look at the border. Look at all this streaming over the border.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Knew he was a killer. First time that I saw him. Wonder how many girls he had loved and left haunted. But if he's a ghost, then I can be a phantom.
You know what? I look at Taylor Swift. If I pick my music based on their politics, I'd have 5 choices. Let's be honest. You know, country, Christian, contemporary, which are my favorite. But fine. I admire her talent. She writes all her songs. She does these shows that have like nearly 50 song, sets in them. She, more wardrobe changes. She's a great businesswoman. Seems like a lovely girl. Extraordinarily nice to her fans. And I kind of hate people, hating on her.
Oh, absolutely. Because even if you didn't like her and you didn't like her music, you'd have to admit it's nice to see someone dressing as a chief besides Elizabeth Warren. You know?
Okay. All right, Jimmy Fallon. We hear you. We see you. What's he come on? What time does he come on? 7?
7 o'clock, I think.
We should know that.
Yeah, we should.
We had him on the show to make that announcement, and Jimmy Fallon is such a great guy. He's funny, and we're happy to have him be a part of the 97.1 FM Talk family here. YouTube live chat poll. We're going to get to the results at the end of this segment here, but we're asking you this question that kind of circles its way back around from time to time. Is Joe Biden the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee? There are things that are going to happen between now and that vote, which is, my calculation suggests it's 403 days. Yep, 403 days away. And I don't know that we're going to be in the same position to have this conversation in 2 weeks from now, let alone in 403 days. But this impeachment inquiry yesterday, I think, is going to turn up the heat on the people who have been trying to maybe eke out another Biden term if he can just do what he did the first time, which is stay low, lay low, not get pressed, not get asked hard questions. And as more information comes out, for instance, our conversation at 1:05 today with Congressman Jason Smith of Missouri's 7th District, they're subpoenaing information that is mounting up evidence that they are going to have to put together and look at as a whole body of evidence to discover what is true and what isn't true, and what connections are real and not just assumed or alleged. We need to know the truth of it. Here's Jim Jordan from yesterday.
Professor Gerhardt, it wasn't just a speech. He leveraged $1 billion of American tax money, and he did so at a time when our government was supportive of the prosecutor. Here's what our government said. The Assistant Secretary of State, we have been impressed with the ambitious reform and anti-corruption agenda of your government, written to the Prosecutor General, who Joe Biden leverages our money to get fired. The United States fully supports your efforts to fight corruption, she further wrote. The Interagency Policy Committee said this on October 1st, 2015. The IPC recommends moving forward with a third loan guarantee to Ukraine in the near term. And even after Joe Biden gives the speech on December 9th, the European Commission said, their report said the anti-corruption benchmark is deemed to have been achieved for Ukraine. But the most telling evidence is what his business partner said. Devin Archer, when we deposed him under oath just 2 months ago, said this. Here's the question. The request was help from the United States government to deal with the pressure they were under from their prosecutor. You know what Mr. Archer's response was? That's correct. Next question. What did Hunter Biden do after he was given that request? He called his dad. That's what we're investigating. That's one of the 3 things Professor Turley talked about, the influence peddling scheme.
So Congressman Jim Jordan there laying out for the American people and, of course, the committee there, the questions, the rightful questions that people will have that have seen the evidence that has been out there in the public, but also the things that they've heard in the conversations and the hearings that they've had so far, under oath hearings. It's very important to get to the bottom of these questions. I think it's a possibility that at the end we have a bunch of incredibly questionably unethical behaviors by Joe Biden, but maybe nothing that amounts to the level of requiring an impeachment vote. But maybe we do. And the only way to find out is to inquire about it, which is the impeachment inquiry that they're participating in right now. Well, Tesla driving AOC, she says this is an embarrassment.
This is an embarrassment to the time and people of this country. And I would ask that the chair and I would ask that this committee elevate to the promise of our duties here and comport ourselves with the consistency and practice that is required of our seats and our duty and our our oath to our responsibilities here.
Well said. Not really a compelling argument made there. She says it's an embarrassment. A lot of other Democrats were saying the same thing. They were repeating the idea that somehow or another there's nothing at all to see here and that the Republicans are just acting in vendetta.
This entire fake impeachment inquiry isn't about the United States. It's about Hunter Biden. And the only thing the president can be guilty of here is being a father.
That's not even something you should be guilty of unless, like, you didn't know you were the father or the grandfather. I'm just saying. Let's listen to what Nancy Mace said. This had to be cleaned up a little bit.
My
here.
Democrat colleagues say none of this is relevant because Joe Biden wasn't vice president while his family did these shady deals. Turns out that's complete and total. It's a lie.
She said bologna sausage. She says that Joe Biden's involvement in this does have to do with when he was acting as the American people's vice president.
We already know the president took bribes from Burisma. I also want to add, betraying your country is treason.
Betraying your country is treason. That would be an impeachable offense. Congressman Jake LaTurner from Kansas was talking to one of the expert witnesses that they had there to deliver the testimony, Bruce Dubinsky, who is a forensic accountant. And he was, several times this forensic accountant was asked about, like, here is a scenario that we are looking at as people on this committee. If you were a forensic accountant, would this rise to the level of making you raise an eyebrow? Maybe look like a red flag?
You have extensive experience as an expert witness and consultant in the areas of white-collar crime, financial fraud, and corruption. Is it characteristic of these types of crimes that actors hide behind nicknames or other pseudonyms to mask their identity?
It's very common.
What about this first email image is characteristic of financial crimes that you have investigated or provided expert testimony on in the past?
Well, typically you'll see code names used and money is being paid to somebody under that code name, and that's how these processes work.
Let me ask you something. You're very experienced. When conducting an investigation, if your boss prevented you from taking investigative steps, how would you react? How would it affect your findings?
First, it would be extremely troubling if I was told not to continue to investigate something. And if I was put in that position, I'd probably withdraw from the investigation.
Has the Department of Justice ever restricted any of your investigative steps?
No, they have not.
It's amazing. Mr. Chairman, I yield back my time.
So when you listen to these expert witnesses that they have answering these questions, I think that some people will dip into a hearing like this and they'll expect to have the bombshell be dropped. And then it's like, oh my gosh, Joe Biden's going to be impeached. He's the worst person ever. It's really not that simple. You need to have these hearings. They're long. They go on and on. I mean, it's for nerds like me. I mean, I could sit and watch the whole thing. I find them to be very interesting and compelling. And I want to know the information that they draw upon. But each one of these is an opportunity to uncover information that allows the next part of the puzzle to be put together. Here's more from Bruce Dubinsky, who is this forensic accountant.
No, I've investigated hundreds of frauds cases. You're not going to see a direct payment to President Biden or then Vice President Biden. It would be some sort of indirect benefit. And you heard Professor Turley say that if it was proven, and it hasn't been proven yet, but if it was proven that there's an indirect benefit from that President, then Vice President Biden or President Biden derived from the money Hunter Biden received, that could rise to the level of an impeachable offense.
Turley said multiple times yesterday in his opening statement, he commented about how you don't have to see a bank deposit from, it's not going to say CCP into Joe Biden's checking account, $37 for influence. That's not how it's going to work. But Brad, have you seen the people pushing back on the direct connection or the involvement of Joe Biden? There's no direct connection obvious that has been proven, so on and so forth. Like, well, of course there wouldn't be. I think they're pretty good at this.
He's not the worst person in the Senate to ever be bribed or the worst person. That's Bob Menendez.
Seats taken.
Joe Biden's a little smarter than Bob Menendez, which isn't saying much, but still. He's not going to be like, all right, yeah, just write me a check and I'll cash it out at the local bank. That's not how any of this works. To me, one of the things that's very, very eyebrow raising, because you're always looking for that connection that they tried to make, was what Jason Smith talked about earlier in the show. They have money being wired to Joe Biden's address. And at the time that money, this is what's really important. At the time that money was wired to Joe Biden's address, one Hunter Biden was not a resident of that address. So who was residing at that address? That's what we need to know.
I think it wasn't it referred to as a beneficiary address or something like that? I mean, like, all of these questions exist, and you can't pretend that the questions don't exist because you're afraid of the answers.
Right.
And Jim Jordan kind of sums it up here for you.
This is a tale as old as time. Politician takes action that makes money for his family, and then he tries to conceal it.
As Brad just mentioned, Bob Menendez, I mean, this is, we're not, if the whole Joe Biden thing is uncovered, if there's as much substance there as it appears that there could be, but we don't know yet. It's not like Joe Biden chartered all of this new territory. He probably has learned from the best. I'd really like to know more about who else might have known that this was going on, how they were able to access the connections that they were able to access, and really maximize, it appears, the influence that they were able to peddle across the globe. The action that is taken from the Oversight Committee, Congressman Fitzgerald from Wisconsin.
Well, they've got their talking points. We're not only hearing it in oversight, but it's happening in the judiciary. It doesn't matter what the topic is. All they want to talk about is Donald J. Trump. What I would say is the big news that came out of oversight yesterday, and I talked to Congressman Comer last night about it at length, is that they're issuing the subpoenas for both Hunter and James Biden. I think that's kind of the big news that came out of everything that they were able to gather yesterday.
So Congressman Scott Fitzgerald from Wisconsin is talking about the subpoenas for James and Hunter Biden. So this ball will continue to move. In the midst of all of this, all of the, maybe it feels like the walls are closing in. Maybe you're worried that if you're Joe Biden, you're going to be worried that you're not going to be exonerated in the way you believe you should be if you think you're innocent. With everything that is going to happen here, with the exposure of information as unsavory as what we already know to be true, I don't really buy this Congressman Frost comment about the only thing the president can be guilty of here is being a father. Joe Biden has not been a great father. The idea that he's this really great family man and we should all put ourselves in his shoes and, your family has troubles too and so on and so forth. This is not the same thing.
No.
And from where I sit, I'm watching to see if maybe this isn't the case. But from where I sit, the enabling that has taken place for Hunter Biden to continue to suffer in the addictions that he has, it's a master class in enabling, and that is not a positive thing. The only people on the planet who should have the genetic fortitude to tell you the hardest things that you're ever going to hear are your parents. And when I look at Hunter Biden's life, I encourage you to check out Fox Nation's Who is Hunter Biden? And you understand how little Hunter Biden was when he lost his mom and tragically lost his mom. And his life is just wrought with this tragedy. And Joe Biden wasn't there. Joe Biden prioritized his career, and there were consequences to that. And Hunter Biden is one of them. And it seems very sad. There's a lot of sadness that exists there on Hunter Biden's part, but I think there's a lot of corruption too. And the corruption is where it becomes my business, because Joe Biden is a public official, and I want to know how he took advantage of me and how he took advantage of you. The YouTube live chat poll for today: is Joe Biden the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee? Yes or no? 29% say yes. 71% say no. This gets bigger and bigger every single time. It's pretty amazing. You agree with that?
I agree 100%. I mean, I talked about this a little bit yesterday. We asked yesterday if the impeachment inquiry was going to help or hurt Republicans. I said it's going to hurt them because what it's going to do is it's going to push Joe Biden out of office, and they're going to run somebody better than Joe Biden to win the presidency. So I still think Joe Biden won't be the nominee. And I don't know if it'll be this scandal, if it'll be health concerns, what it'll be, but there's something coming that's going to push him out.
You know, you're going to have people who are going to push back, who are desperately trying to make sure Donald Trump doesn't become the president. Paul comments on the YouTube page, we have no idea of the dynamics within the Biden family. Come on. Paul, read Hunter Biden's text messages. They are there. Your ignorance to them or unwillingness to read them is a you problem, not a rest of us problem. That family is as dysfunctional as it gets. And you can take it not from my words. Take it from the Biden's words. It's tragic. It's sad. I do not relish in it whatsoever. It is incredibly dysfunctional, and it does play into this whole story. Appreciate you so much for being with us today. Happy Friday. Check out the podcast for Congressman Jason Smith on with us at 1:05, and keep it right here because Mark Reardon is up next.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. The alcohol is flowing like crazy in the Reardon Roundtable green room right now, and we're going to get started in a matter of minutes right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Mark Reardon, and Annie Frey, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the last Protecting